live.
And that means that Pong and Mav are live right here, right now, for all of your viewing and listening pleasures. That's right, folks. Welcome back to PM in the PM. The best place to be on a Thursday night, according to myself and Mav. As always, it is July 21st already. We are cruising through the summer here, getting ready for fall time. I know a lot of people are sick and tired of the hot weather. Look, I love it. I'm in the wrong state for it because, yes, we do get hot here as well. We've been in the 90s and topped 100 a couple days, but I also go the opposite direction, get negative 30 on a regular basis during the winter. That's right, negative 30, folks. So I'm in the wrong state, but I know a lot of people are sick and tired of it. I know it's causing a lot of problems for people. So we are almost through summer already, which is insane. We do still have a little bit of August here where it's usually hot, but hopefully it brings some relief. But Mav and I are here to talk about games. That's right. We got gaming news dropping this week. We do have some interesting topics, but first, let me introduce the co-host with the most, as always, the man who runs all of Fun Speculation. Well, Kaitlin does most of it, but that's fine. Mav's there as well. He gives her moral support as she's doing all this stuff behind the scenes. Shout out to Kaitlin. Love you. Listen, Mav, how the hell has your week been? I know you've been playing some freaking PowerWash. We were just talking about this. It's your new addiction, brother. But I know you've actually jumped into some other things. One game I think that we probably will talk about before we get into the major topics, because I think we both have some pretty strong opinions. But how's your week been, man? What's been going on?
Been good. Been playing lots of different things. Been trying to stay out of the heat as much as possible. Again, it's freaking hot. We talked about this last week. No break here. Well, I guess today is a little bit of a break because it's only a high of 99 because it was cloudy outside today. Woo-wee. So the sun went away and that made it a high of 99 instead of 100. This is the first day in weeks, I think, that we didn't hit over 100 degrees. So it's nice. We're in serious drought weather as well here in Texas. A little bit of sprinkles today, just a tiny bit. Not really enough to do anything, but it's still been nice to kind of not be scorching in the sun today. Other than that, man, just been like I said, playing some stuff. I been running the gamut on those new games that we got 3 new pretty big launches the other day between Stray, as Dusk Falls, and also Hot Wheels DLC. So I've been checking out all 3 of those and got lots of opinions on all 3 of those. We'll probably dive some into that during the show here. Other than that, man, yeah, you're right. PowerWash Simulator is. I don't understand. I don't know what has happened to me. I'm usually not a big simulator type player. You know, I have dabbled in Sims before and never really got hooked on one. Something about this game that has its hooks in me. I don't know what it is. I think it's that mindless zombie style gameplay. I can just zone out, chill, relax, talk to friends, and just complete a task. I don't know what it is, man. It's like,
called getting old, Mav.
Is that what's
happening to you? Yes.
Like I got a real power washer and I won't use it. And I'm sitting there doing these like jobs that take 3 or 4 hours to do. And I freaking love that game though. Something's extremely zen about it. But I've probably received more flack about liking this game than any other game I've ever played before, which is interesting. I've been getting messages and people are like, "Man, what's wrong with you?" You know? Hey, I don't know. I gave it a chance. It was in Game Pass. I would never have bought this if it wasn't in Game Pass. You know? Right. Shout out to Game Pass because I have 2 success stories from Game Pass just in this week alone, right? And
100%.
It's an amazing thing. Subscription gaming is the future. We've said it many times. It's changed my gaming habits 100%, and I love it, man. I love this new me that's willing to try all these different things because I don't got to pay for it. I don't got to pay any extra. It's just there, you know. So why not try it? You might find something new you love. Now I'm gonna start a power washing business just because of this game.
Even though you just got done admitting you don't like to use one in real life.
No, Well, it's too damn hot outside. You know?
That's why he sprays water.
And
you
know,
get some mist.
In real
It'll
life,
be nice.
you got to deal with that long ass hose too. You know, I got to admit, like that was the one smart thing from omitting from that game. You know, it's not a real simulator because you don't have to deal with the hose, so you can like literally walk around circles around trees and stuff with no consequence. You know, in real life, you still got to deal with the hoses and stuff. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's making me contemplating life choices right now and stuff like power washing. Was it my calling all along and I just didn't know? Maybe I need to go try the real thing a little bit again and see how it fares.
What could have been, Mav? What could have been, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
What about you? What
Glad
have you been up to?
Bro. Well, if y'all can't see here,
you're burnt.
I've been kissed by the sun. Well, no, this is not burnt anymore, Mav. This is now starting to go away. Okay. Last weekend, it's getting there. Okay. It's not completely tan yet. As you can see, I have not shaved because I didn't want to touch my face all week. That's how much I've hurt. Last weekend, went to an air show, and you're supposed to get smarter as you get older.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens, but then there's other times where you think to yourself, what the F was my brain thinking about or not thinking about? And why didn't you realize this is going to happen? So I haven't gotten my first burn of the year yet. And the kid, the wife's youngest is up here from California. He plays football. So he's already dark tan. So I didn't even think about it. We went to this air show. And when we got there and started parking, that's when it clicked in my head. Maybe I probably should have brought some sunscreen, but no, I did not do that. And I was like, well, we're already here, not leaving. We're getting parking spot. This is going to be packed. We're going. Yep. I fried myself worse than I have in a very, very long time. Yeah. I had sun poisoning on Sunday. I felt like complete shit. Oh, bro, I didn't want to do anything. I was sick. The kid actually, before the end of the air show, said we were watching the last performance of the Thunderbirds, the F-16s, because he loves the F-16s. And he wanted to stay. And I was already feeling it. And I was like, oh, man, I got a 3-hour drive back. I'm like, this is going to be bad. And then he finally turned to me like 5 minutes into the Thunderbirds and goes, I'm not feeling well. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, let's go. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, let's go. So sick all day Sunday. Forced myself into work Monday, was still not feeling like myself. I started peeling Sunday night. Yeah. And I went on Saturday. That's how blistered I was, man. So this has been a rough.
Have you peeled more than one layer?
Yes, I'm peeling multiple layers. It's been nonstop. You guys probably can't tell. I finally got a lot of it, but like Monday and Tuesday, sitting at my desk working, it was like snow falling off my. Literally, bro. I looked down at my keyboard, my shirt. It was awful, man. Yeah. It was awful. So that's how my week started. But otherwise, gaming wise, listen, I have been playing Borderlands 3 since I picked that up. Absolutely. Now I'm loving Borderlands 3. Again, it didn't grab my attention on PS4. I tried it. I'm a huge Borderlands fan, and I was just like, I don't get this. This is not what I was looking for in Borderlands. But now that I'm into it, I love my looter shooters. So I've been playing Borderlands 3 for a short time period. And then, like you said, Mav, Game Pass dropped a game that we talked about here. We talked about on other shows, and I was always of the opinion a lot of people dismissed this game just because of the style. And of course, that's As Dusk Falls. We saw it. It didn't show well. I freely admitted that. I said that this game was going to come down to the story because obviously that's what this game is. It's about the narrative. And I said it was going to make or break it depending on if the decision-making mattered in the game. If you felt rewarded for the decisions, or if you felt like each decision really, really mattered, right? And we're going to talk about this. We'll get into this game a little bit more. But I sat down the other night when it launched on Game Pass. I had it pre-downloaded. I popped it on. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try it out for a couple minutes. I'm like, I'm not going to do much. Popped it on to try it out for a couple minutes. Next thing I know, I had finished all of book 1, which is chapters 1 through 3. I could not stop playing, right? So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but that's been pretty much my week. And I will announce live on air, I finally did the unthinkable this week, which was uninstalled NBA 2K22.
Wow. Wow.
I finally said enough is enough of my NBA addiction.
Yeah.
And I actually
get ready for that Jordan
uninstalled it.
23 edition.
No, only if I win it. Only if I win it, brother. You know, I won it past 2 years. It's the only reason why I've had NBAs, because I've won it past 2 years. I'm going to go for it again this year, see if I can make it 3 years in a row. But I finally uninstalled it. I looked at my total time, 256 hours played. Yeah. So I got my fill of NBA. So I'm done with that. So now it's moving on to bigger and better things. There's so much coming out that I had to make room. So that was my week. But Mav, before we jump into the show, you posted on Twitter, but you know, not everybody lives on Twitter. Some people might just be getting home from work. Some people might be just waking up, depending on where you are in the world, whatever the case may be. So, but on Twitter, you posted an update, Mav, an amazing update, really one that we've been looking for a while. So go ahead, take it away. This is good news. Obviously, a lot of people in the community are going to be happy about this this one. So go ahead, take it away, brother.
Yeah, so people that are familiar with our channel very much well know Assassin Lupa, one of the best people in the community, a huge part of our fun speculation family, and also panelists on Xbox Ultimate since near the beginning of the show. Since we started going live, she's been there pretty much from day one. So we've missed her greatly. Been dealing with a lot of health issues, obviously. And for people that have been following with the updates and stuff. So we had heard is that she had surgery. The surgery, as it went, was an open brain surgery, and it was successful, but they were keeping an eye on her because they knew that the next several days were going to be very, very crucial. She was in intensive care. So today, actually, this evening in the UK, her husband had DM'd me. His name's John. He's a really great guy. Had been obviously worried sick about her. He told me, he says, I'm just gonna read it word for word. He says, I have not messaged before as there has not been a change. But this evening, Lupa woke up. She's very confused and it will take time for her to recover, but he's very relieved and happy right now. So Lupa has woke up. You know, she's gonna obviously take time to cover. Who knows exactly how serious any of the side effects or, you know, the consequences from any of this might be and stuff like that. So we're hoping for the best kind of recovery possible. I have no idea like anything beyond that, beyond the fact that she's awake, you know, but holding out hope for the best, and we miss her greatly. I don't know if Lupa's going to ever have a chance to hear this or anything in the future, but, you know, we all love you and miss you, and just hope this recovery goes well for you. And I'm glad that the worst of it hopefully is over. Right. So, yeah, it's great news today. Absolutely great news, because I've been hoping to get some, you know, information, you know, because we all been worrying about it. But that's it as of right now. So, again, if I get any more information in the future, I will share. John has told me he will let us know, you know, any updates, and maybe one day soon we'll hear from her herself. You know, that's the best we could hope for, I think.
Yeah, no, just absolutely amazing news. And again, you know, I retweeted you and obviously said, and I'll say this live on air to the chat, because we've been talking about this almost every show. Listen, thank you all to the community. Anybody who's kept Lupa in their thoughts, their prayers, sent energy, whatever you did, if you had her in your heart at any moment in time during this process, thank you all for that. Again, it does matter in these instances. We have living proof of that in Spooky Sprocket. Spooky, the breathtaking gamer now, as he is in YouTube, of that. It does help. Every little bit helps. And she does have a long road ahead. So please continue to keep her in your thoughts, your hearts, your prayers, whatever it is that you do, continue to do so. But just fantastic news, Mav. I mean, just a big sigh of relief for all of us, and anybody out there who's met Lupa, whether again through chats, whether playing games, whether seeing her on a podcast, hearing her on a podcast, whatever the case may be. You just know what a special person she is. So that she's still here with us and that she's finally woken up is a blessing, a miracle, and it's amazing. And I'm so happy for John and her entire family, obviously, as well. That is who really matters. That's those closest to her. But just grateful to hear that news, Mav. That was awesome that you were able to tell us that. So thanks, brother.
Yeah, I was super happy to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Mav, we kind of talked about a little bit, let's jump into some of these games that we've been playing this week, because I know you've had a chance to play one that I want to play, but because I don't have a PlayStation, I can't. But it has been garnering a ton of attention over on the PlayStation and PC side of things. People unironically trying to get Game of the Year next to this title.
I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
I know, but some people want. Hey,
PowerWash
I've been on this
Simulator is
train.
the Game of the Year.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, nothing's going to be PowerWash. Sorry, Elden Ring. No, but this game caught all of our attentions. I think we were all on board with this game. And of course, the game that we're talking about is Stray. The cat kind of set in this dystopian future, kind of a cyberpunk future. It's all, you're doing cat things, right? And you're traveling through. I've seen some of the clown show out here from the green side trying to talk about the hours, that it's only 4 hours long, whatever the case may be. I see most people completing it within about 5 to 6 hours is what people are saying. But whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. It's an indie title. I don't care about the length. It's about what the game gives me. And I've seen nothing but positivity. But Mav, I know you had a chance to dive into this a little bit. And again, I don't have any experience with that outside of seeing a bunch of videos, watching some people play it. It looks ridiculously fantastic, just like what I thought. If you're a cat lover, you're going to love this game. It seems like even real life cats love this game. There's a whole Twitter page now dedicated to cats who watch Stray, and it's absolutely incredible. It's amazing. Yeah, so am I. You even get some dogs in there chasing the cat out of the screen. It's hilarious. What would you think, man? You jumped into Stray for a little bit. What'd you think? What are your first impressions?
I probably played for about like 2 hours total of it so far. I played on stream, and dude, I'm impressed. I'm not like Game of the Year type impressed, but like it's a great game. It's a great indie game. What I'm most impressed by is the animation and the fluidness of the controls, right? And it's just a really cool setting, like this world where there's like nothing else but the cat and like old robots and stuff that like is from like this deserted wasteland where humans used to exist. Is kind of what it seems like to me. You know what I mean? There's a lot of story that you can unravel about the history of things in there. And there's enemies that you have to try and avoid and stuff like this. A lot of platforming. But the controls are so tight and smooth, and it's got good graphics and stuff, and it's just fun to walk around and jump around from thing to thing. Because like I was trying to ask 3-Bit this during the when I was streaming, because I'm just like blown away at the animation of it. Because I've seen like people model like cats and dogs and stuff in games and stuff, but like not to the control aspect where you're actually controlling it like this. And even when they've tried to model it from like an outside perspective of just a creature walking around, a lot of times they get it wrong. You know what I mean? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, great game as it is. That dog is weird. The dog in the house, his body is not right. And Cosmo and the pups, their bodies are not right. The legs are just like way too far back and like long. And so it's just awkward. And so to see like these guys, Annapurna published this. I don't know the name of the dev studio themselves, but for them to like model this so well and animate it and make it so fun just to control and walk around, it was really impressive. And I personally, I don't really get I'm $30 for 4 hours or whatever. That's too much. It's an indie game. I mean, what do you want them to charge? Like $10? I mean, it's a really, really well made game, right? Right. Really, really well made, polished game that you can sit there in hours and just walk around and have fun just messing around with and kind of dive deeper into finding secret type stuff and everything too. I mean, there's a lot to love about it. Like I said, I'm not like Game of the Year type there, but I think it's like going to be one of the better releases for this year for sure. And indie game community is coming out strong this week for sure. But so you've been watching people play and stuff. You've been seeing the clips and stuff. Like, is there something that stood out to you exactly about why it looks good?
I mean, it's going to sound similar to you, but I think that you hit the nail on the head, Mav, when you said just the animation of the cat, the natural like movement of the cats. As you're walking, as you're climbing, as all the different kind of movement that you make, like you said, we don't see. Animals are very hard to capture. They're complex creatures, and cats are extremely complex when it comes to their jumping, when it comes to their landing abilities. There's a lot of different things going on in the anatomy of a cat that really gives it that ability to do some crazy acrobatic things. And so to replicate that as well as they have from what I've seen in the game is absolutely incredible. And then on top of it, again, it just confirmed what I thought. The more I've watched of the videos is exactly what I gravitated towards, was the setting and how well they've kind of made this dystopian future. Now, watching people play it, I've even seen some different environments that we had never seen before, right? From the videos or from the trailers and the previews, I hadn't seen some of the environments, but every single environment is unique. It's gorgeous. It's spot on. It's heavily detailed. Like that's like you just said,
and you can like knock over objects and stuff, and all
of that, right? This has been hand crafted, and you can tell like this is not a slap together indie title. This is something that's been put together with love, care, and passion down to the minute details, and that's to me was always impressive. And again, price point has never been a big deal to me. If it's a game I want to play, if it's within my budget and I budget it out, I'm going to play it. Now, this is also on PlayStation Plus Premium, which we already know as a free game, and the middle of the road one. I always forget the name of that one, but I think it's in both, right? It's not just premium, it's the other one as well. But that's also showing you the value of a subscription service, so that if you have that thought in your head, like, hey, $30, 4 hours, 5 hours. I know it looks good, but I don't know if I want to spend that money. Well, then you just join up for the subscription, and you jump in, and it costs you a fraction of the price. Plus you get access to all the other games. And that's what you do. That's the power of Game Pass. We're going to talk about that again here in a second, Mav, with another game that's come out and kind of taken people by storm. But yeah, everything I'm seeing in this game is exactly what I thought it was going to be. When I pictured it, when they first started seeing it, I was like, damn, I really want to play this. I am an animal lover. I love dogs. I love cats. I love all animals. So to me, that's always going to be something that I go, yeah, I want to try that out. But the more I see of it, the more I fall in love with it. I can't wait to get a PlayStation 5, or we don't know how long the timed exclusivity is. Hopefully it comes back to Xbox at some point too, because I think this game deserves a bigger audience. I think that this dev, which is Blue 12 Studio, by the way, Mav, they deserve as many people playing this game as possible, because they obviously are a very talented studio, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future after they get done with this one. So just awesome, man. I'm so glad to hear that everybody's liking it, and you too.
And there's been a lot of confusion that people thinking this is a Sony game, right? This is not a Sony game as well, like because I think a lot of people are criticizing like Sony over the price, thinking of trying to do console war stuff. Like when this comes to Xbox, it'll be $30 as well, or it may come into Game Pass day one when it hits Xbox. Who knows exactly? But this is kind of like on the same line of the Artful Escape. Remember that came out day one in Game Pass from Annapurna Interactive, right?
Yep.
I think it ended up going to other platforms. I'm not sure if it has yet. If not, it will eventually. But this will eventually probably be at other places as well, right? Annapurna kind of has a history of dropping things exclusive, on one platform and then later releasing them on others. So this is known to be a timed exclusive. We don't know what all consoles is coming to in the future, but I believe they did acknowledge the fact that it will eventually come to other platforms. So it's also available on PC as well. And $30, or what is even better, if you have PS Plus Extra
or Premium,
you get it day one, right? And you know what? That pays for 2 months of the service, right? And you get to play the other stuff in there. So, that's where we talked about. Day one games is what gives me the value to stay subscribed to a service, right?
Yep.
And because it's saving me money, like this saved me money. So I'm happy, and I'm enjoying my time with the game. And you know what? I'm probably not going to play through it multiple times, right?
Right.
But I would have bought it if I didn't have PS Plus Extra. So shout out to subscription services in gaming. Who knew PlayStation would have one that would have a day one game that I would be excited about.
And guess what? Sony didn't put a gun to Annapurna's head and make him put it in there either, Mav.
No.
I mean, it's amazing. They got paid, and so did the devs off of this. So just crazy how that works, man. I just didn't understand it. But now that's on PlayStation, I understand.
Like, from
yeah.
this? Like,
yes.
So
yes.
They didn't steal the game and put it in their service and fuck them over. Like,
No, they did not, Mav. So everybody wins, Mav. Crazy as that sounds. I know, right?
I mean, it's not sustainable, though. I don't know if they can keep this up.
Oh, so
is it profitable yet?
Is it profitable yet? Yes, that's correct.
I don't know.
Well, yes.
PS Plus profitable?
No, but that's why they got charged $70 for remasters. Listen, we'll get into that later. Let's talk about another one, Mav, that jumped in this week that a lot of people were like, I have zero interest. This is not grabbing me. And of course, I'm talking about As Dusk Falls, as I mentioned in my intro. As Dusk Falls. This did not show off well for a lot of people. A lot of people had zero interest. We're talking about checked out, what is this garbage? Why is Microsoft spending so much time marketing As Dusk Falls? Whatever made them think that this was going to be a good game? And that's not being hyperbolic. That is definitely comments that I have seen aplenty, not just from, of course, the usual clowns on the blue side, but I've seen it from a lot of people just in the Xbox community as well. But again, dropping day and date in Game Pass, it shows up, Mav, and here we are this week, and all of a sudden, everybody starts playing it, or the people at least that wanted to play it, like I did, started going on Twitter going, you need to play this game. You need to play this game. And then some other people who would not have played it if it was not in Game Pass, downloaded it, started playing it and said, look, I had no interest in this game, but this story is crazy good. The acting is off the charts. I'm having a blast making these decisions because they are impacting the story as I'm watching it. And the more I play, the comment that I heard the most, Mav, and I think you made this comment too as well, Mav, even if the art style, the art direction, and the the slide style kind of animation that they have to this, even if that was a turnoff for you, the more you played it, the more the story gripped you. You stopped noticing that. It didn't bother people anymore. That became a side, that just was in the background because the story was so gripping, right? And now got a lot of people talking about this game. A lot of people talking about this game possibly winning some narrative awards, which I think it should definitely be up for
voice
narrative
awards type awards as well.
Voice, acting type awards. I played through book one. I have not finished yet. Our brother from another Psychonauts has already finished it. And he has got nothing but praise for it as well. Mav, did you finish book one too?
I finished a act yesterday. I don't know if it was the end of book one or not.
Okay, 1 through 3, and then it rolls credits, and then you go on to the second book. Just so you know, because a lot of people thought they finished the game.
I think I finished Act 2.
Okay, Act 2. Okay,
I restarted. I played about an hour on stream the other day, and then Kate was like, and I was going into the stream. I said before I started playing, guys, just to let everybody know, I've had zero interest in this game, but I'm willing to try anything if it's in Game Pass, especially something that's Microsoft believes in. They're publishing it, right? They are promoting it a lot. I'm going to try it. I'm not just going to not try it, right? And so I was but I have zero interest, mainly because that art style was distracting and annoying to me. For all those trailers and everything. It's I just have no interest, but I'm willing to try it and see if I can get into it, because who knows, right? Maybe I'll like it.
Right.
Started out, I was like, this is what I was worried about. You know what I mean? And then, about 10 minutes in, I'm like, oh, okay, what's happening here? Okay. All right. And then man, there's so many turns and stuff that you're not expecting, and really difficult decisions.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Internal struggle type decisions. fuck, what are the consequences going to be of this action that I'm about to take? You know,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick, man, since you're on the topic of decision making. How are you playing? Are you playing thinking about the consequences of the story, or are you thinking about how you would decide in real life?
So the first time I was playing it, the first hour when I was streaming, I was playing like the decisions I would make, right? And trying to make the smart decisions, right? To try and like keep everybody alive. I mean, main goal, right? No, I don't want anybody.
So you're doing the Mass Effect. You were doing the Mass Effect, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to play like, what would I do here? You know what I mean? Trying to be smarter than them, right? Like that kind of stuff, you know. And then what the second, because I learned a lot, you know, from that. And when I was playing with, we started again last night in bed. Like my daughter wanted to watch it. Kate was watching it. We tried the 3-player thing where they had like the iPad and the phone. We weren't as into that. Like it kind of made it more distracting for me personally than anything. I've seen some people like, you got to play this game of the multi people and stuff. For me, I think it's like better just making that choice and just going with it. So it's not such a like distraction for each sequence. Right. But the second time I made some more like ruthless decisions, right? And tried to be like, because I learned some things that had happened, I was trying to change the course of that. You know what I mean? Right. And see what would happen. And man, I made some wrong decisions that second time. I'll say. Now I'm a little bit further in. So, you know, now, but I don't know. Like I know certain things happened that they didn't happen the first time. And I'm like, wow, okay, that took a turn. But I'm really interested because like if you look at the dialogue path or whatever, like there's a whole second chain that I have no idea what happens. Like, and it goes on to one of the decisions you make early on in the game, right? So now like it adds replayability. But the most interesting thing about like the slideshows type animation and stuff is after like it was annoying at first. After I starting to play it and stuff, I actually found that I actually appreciate that because it's almost like when you make that decision and you see the next slide, it's like a moment of anticipation because you don't know what's going to pop up, right? And it seems like it makes actual sense for the gameplay because each time they reveal a new scene, it's a surprise. Right. As opposed to it's in motion and you're in the moment and all this kind of stuff. And it's like it makes the impact of your decisions have more weight, in my opinion, right? So it turned out to be a brilliant thing. I'm actually loving this game, and it's going to be one of my favorite games of the year probably by the time this is done. I'm still early on, right? But we're going to play it each night until we finish it, and then maybe do a different playthrough and see like the different decisions we make. But a huge surprise. Had zero anticipation. I was actually downright disrespectful to this game at times, saying like, guys, I just don't get it. You know, I'm sick of seeing this game, all this stuff. And you know what? Again, like I said, there's two things that showed the power of subscription services. One of those is PowerWash Simulator, and the other one is As Dusk Falls, right? Because I would not have bought this game, you know. I really wouldn't have. And now I would probably buy it even if it ever, I mean, it's not going to leave Game Pass as published by Microsoft, but if it ever were to leave Game Pass, I'd probably make sure I owned it, you know, like it's a fantastic game. Yeah.
Very interesting, Matt, because a lot of the same things hit. Now, again, I had interest in this game, even though, you know, there was things that I thought, well, I don't know if it's going to like grab me the same way because of how it's presented, but I didn't mind the animation, but I didn't know about the slide effect, if that was going to take me out of each moment. Right. And then I still had a lot of interest in the game because, you know, the narrative, and I don't do narrative games. Now, again, narrative games are very hit or miss for me. I've tried some of the big ones out there that people absolutely love. And I'm just like, nope, can't do. It's not doing it for me.
They're hit or miss for me too. One of my favorite ones was Firewatch. I don't know if you played that.
I started Firewatch. I have to actually finish that game. I do have it installed and I've got to finish it. But I just didn't know. I didn't know how it was going to go. And like I said, I popped it in for literally, I was going to try it for a minute and head over to Borderlands 3 and could not stop, man.
Yeah.
I
saw you post that. You went through 3 acts and that one night.
I could not stop. But the thing for me, Mav, and I know why people will go back and play through this again, obviously, to see all the different things that happen. You know, for me right now, what I'm feeling is because I'm playing this by myself, right? And because I'm making all the decisions, I feel like I'm creating my own story because from start to finish, I've been making decisions as I think I would decide in that moment, right? I didn't start out by thinking about consequences of the story. And the impressive thing, Mav, there has been, whenever you get this, and this happens in open world RPGs, you know, Bethesda title, it doesn't matter. It happens a lot where you get to a situation, you're like, come on, give me another option. Come on, you would not have these options. You would have this option, or you're looking for the one that, you know, it's not even close to how you would react, right? If you're playing that way. In this game, there has been very few moments where I've sat and looked at the options and could not find one that I could see myself choosing.
I agree with that.
Which is insane for a game like this that branches as much as it does, and the impact that each decision actually does have on what happens on the screen and where the story goes. That is crazy to me. That tells me that Interior Night, who are the devs, extremely talented group of writers. Whoever was the writing group, if there was 1, 2, 3 people, because again, this is a small team, whoever it was, extremely talented to be able to figure out branching paths where your decisions actually do cause you anxiety at points that you want to, you're really thinking, how would I, and again, for me, because I'm choosing how I would, how would I react here? What would I do? Holy shit, I've never been in this type of position before. I don't want to be in this type of position, but what would I do?
You go with your gut, probably, right? Your gut instincts, right?
Yeah, I go with my gut instincts, right? And again, to see them be able to have as many options in certain situations that really do all feel different. And yes, when you're reading the options in the back of your mind, even though I'm reading for myself and trying to decide what I would do personally, as I read them, I can, you know, sometimes see clearly what will happen if I make that choice. But then there's other times where it's like, I have no freaking idea what's going to happen here, like you said.
They and put then, like, you in those situations on purpose so many times, right? And it's like, so wow, it's hard. I can't. They stopped at those points, like at perfect times of like those tough decisions. I've never played a game where there's so many consequential decisions, like one after another, like that you really do feel like this is going to have a big impact, right?
And even small ones, right, Mav? Even small ones that pop up on the screen, you got to be like ready. Like you got to be ready not only for the quick time events because they can pop up anytime. If you ain't ready, trust me, you're going to miss, okay? Because those things come quick.
Yeah.
But it's just the small little decisions like, oh shit. This is going to have an impact on something. What would I do? Oh my God. What would I do here that you're not even thinking about? They're going to give you that choice, right? That's the crazy part about this game. And now I see why Microsoft was so excited for this game. Is it going to win everyone over? No, it's probably not going to win everyone over. And I think we saw that from the reviews, right? Yeah. There are some reviewers. Look, I don't get it sometimes. I can't put myself in that shoes because I don't write professionally as a reviewer. I don't get paid to do reviews. But sometimes I don't understand how they knock down a game for X amount of points or whatever, stars or whatever, however they're scoring a game for certain features when the rest of the review is so glowing for like the story, right? I don't get that concept, but I think this is definitely going to be one of those games that is divisive. But I think as time goes on and as more people jump into it, because I think a lot of people are playing Stray right now. And I think a lot of people are obviously kind of, you know, for the people who have both systems or have a PC, whatever the case may be, I think some of those people are going to drift over to this game. I think this game could have some legs to it down the road, even if it is just Xbox and PC. It doesn't matter. It's on PC, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it is. I can't remember.
I mean, it's on mobile.
Yeah, it's on mobile. You can do it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know you can
it's got
control
touch
it from
controls.
mobile, but I don't.
You got touch controls. You can cloud stream it too.
Right,
It's got
right.
touch controls. So I think this game will have legs. And I think the more people that jump into this game will start seeing what this actually is about. And I think more people will gravitate towards it and be at the end of the day, by when it's all said and done, I think a lot more people are going to be saying really, really high praise for this game, especially when it comes to the narrative. Again, you haven't even gotten to some of the real big decisions yet, Mav, if you're only in Act 2. And there's more.
There's already been some crazy.
Yeah, there's been some crazy, but just get ready because it ramps up. It's one of those games too that everything gets crazier. The other thing I'll say, and we can move on after this though, is that again, when I'm playing through, now that I played through the first book and I'm sitting back and thinking about my experience, even though you're making choices as different characters, because you don't just make decisions for one character, you make decisions for multiple characters. I still feel like the story's personal to me. Yeah. Right? It's weird. It's weird. Most of the time, if you jump around from character to character, it will feel like, hey, I got all these different kind of points of views, but that kind of loses the personal feel, for me at least, the feel of just being in one character's mode all the time. But for this game, even though I'm making decisions for multiple different characters, when I'm sitting back, I still feel like I'm creating my own story here.
Yeah.
And that is crazy. It's
like
you're
the writer, you know what I mean?
In a lot of ways, right? Even though the choices are made for me, even though the outcomes are set in stone based upon the developers, as I'm going through it, just because I know the consequences are so different for each decision, it does feel like I'm creating my own story and this is my game. Like this is my thing, right? That's why I don't know if I'm going to go back and play through it again, because I kind of am getting the feeling like I'm going to be attached. Hey, this is my playthrough experience. Yes, my story, right? My story. But yeah, phenomenal game. Anybody listening now live, anybody listening in the future, if you guys have Game Pass, if you have not downloaded as Dusk Falls, it's like 60, 70 gigs. It's a big game. It's worth it. Make the room, download it, and try this out. Again,
delete your NBA. That's okay.
Yeah, delete your NBA 2K22 like I did. I think there's a greater than not chance you will be pleasantly surprised if you give this game a shot. If you don't dismiss it just because you may not be attracted to the looks of it, but you give it a real chance and you start following along with the story, again, the acting is off the charts. The soundtrack is awesome. There are some songs in there that I had to look up, and some of it is so, sublime, and in the background, don't realize it's there, but some of the songs fit so well into the moments. It was so impressive. And again, the acting, shout out to Interior Night. This is an up and coming dev team. This is a dev team that's got the story, narrative, writing talent to do big things in this industry, because not everybody can write. That's why the Obsidians, the Bethesdas are so amazing when they come out with their games, is because of the writing. There's a lot of good writers in this industry. There's not a lot of great writers in this industry.
And this is their first game too, I believe, right? So correct. I'm going to be really excited to see what they come out with next, because this is a stepping stone type game for them. I see a couple people in the chat making a good point too, because this is not a lot of there's no real motion here, a lot of it or anything like that. It's all about decisions.
Yeah, cloud.
This would be great for the cloud. 100%. You don't even necessarily have to download this.
Nope, it's got touch controls built in already, so you're good.
Yeah. Or even console cloud.
Yeah, console cloud. Exactly. Just try it. You're right, guys. I always forget about that because I just download pretty much everything. I do play some cloud, but I download pretty much everything on my console. But you guys are all right. That's exactly what cloud is for, and why it's so amazing as well, is the ability to just try the game without even taking up any space on your hard drive. And like you guys all pointed out, like Mav just said, it's a great game for that, because there's not a lot of movement. It's like a turn-based strategy game in that regard, where even if you have not the best connection, you're not probably going to notice at all. So, just shout out to As Dusk Falls. Shout out to Interior Night. So impressed by this game. Can't wait to finish it off and go from there, but well worth the experience. Just, it's so freaking good. Caught, again, even as somebody who was interested, and somebody who pointed out the fact that this game's reception was going to be based upon the decision-making and how it felt. If it felt impactful, still blown away and caught off guard by how good it actually is. So go check that out. Man, yeah, just a great week for games. And no, I did not play Power Washer, everybody. So I don't have any comments. Mav definitely laid it out. Power Washer, for those zen-like moments in gaming, is there for your experience, just like Lawnmower Simulator.
Game of the year 2022. Let's go.
Game of the year. Let's go. How's the acting in Power Washer?
It's pretty good. Like me and Jasper streamed yesterday, and we acted a little bit. We were Power Washers are us. We were doing a tree house there for our client. So,
Nice.
We check out our stream yesterday. We had some fun.
Is it multiplayer?
Yeah, you can play co-op. You can watch stuff together, man. Now I'll say this: the one flaw with that game right now, the co-op's a little buggy. Like, some reason, if you get too close to each other, like sometimes the other person will like lag out of your game. I don't know. We don't know. We're trying to figure out what causes it, but like sometimes the person that joins your game will get kicked out every once in a while.
Okay. So well, that's all right.
That's the one thing. And it even has, if you do free mode, which is not the main career, you can do 6 players.
Really?
6 players.
Okay.
Now that was very buggy because everybody kept getting lagged out. Now this is a brand new game that just came out. Right. I'm sure that'll get kind of fixed over time. Right. But yeah, it's man, I've been having a blast. I've been an embarrassing amount of time to probably almost like 25 hours into it at this point now. It came out like a week ago.
Did you even wait? Okay. First of all, I'll say this for the people out there. No, I have not tried Hot Wheels DLC yet. Again, I got wrapped up into As Dusk Falls, and I downloaded it. I've got Horizon re-downloaded again. I'm planning on jumping into it. But between Borderlands 3 and As Dusk Falls, I have not touched the Hot Wheels DLC. I've seen a ton of people absolutely praising the hell out of that, as we all knew would happen with Playground Games. Mav, have you touched the Hot Wheels DLC
yes,
yet?
So on the same stream, I actually tried all 3 of those games. Okay. I tried Stray, I tried As Dusk Falls, and I tried Forza Horizon Hot Wheels expansion. Wow. Yeah. Best release of the week.
Okay.
I mean, I can't believe it's not being marketed out to high hell right now, because it's like a whole new game. I mean, if you want to buy it standalone, it's $20. If you're a subscriber to Game Pass, you get a discount, so it's like $18. If you had gotten the $50 like gold
upgrade premium
ultimate edition extreme whatever at launch to upgrade your Game Pass copy, which shout out to Crazy Louie, I think he had actually gifted that to me. And so I'm still reaping the benefits. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Thanks to Louie. Man, that is one of the most impressive expansion DLCs I've ever seen. I mean, it is absolutely insane. It is huge. It is freaking huge, man. I mean, it's just tracks everywhere. Loop-de-loops, you got different biomes, you got different track types, you got ice, you got water, you got bumps, you got speed boost, you got jumps, you got everything. You got all these different Hot Wheels. You got Hot Wheels history that they tell you about when you're doing certain races and stuff. There's a whole under the track area where it's like the whole world, like with actual like ground and off-road racing and stuff. And man, I was not prepared for how massive that expansion was going to be. They could have sold this as a $60 game alone, and I don't think you'd hear many complaints about that whatsoever. Like, it is absolutely astounding.
Is it better than Hot Wheels' own game?
Yes, it is, and that's a good game. Like, I like that game, like the Hot Wheels game that came out last year. I praised earlier this year, maybe actually. I don't remember when it came out, but I've praised it. I said it's a great game. I have fun. It's a great It's a great track arcade racer. You can have a lot of fun drifting, and stuff in that. But dude, Playground. I understand now why they did this, because before, like I was even like, why are they doing Hot Wheels again? I'll see what they're gonna do. I've been begging for like a Transformers or something like that, something like really off the wall, expansion. But I was like, Hot Wheels again? Okay, I was surprised because I didn't expect this, because we have a Hot Wheels game. I didn't think Hot Wheels would do licensing to Forza anymore, because that might deter people from buying their own game. You know what I mean? But they did, and like again, man, like just holy cow, this is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm super blown away by it. Best thing, this probably could be the best thing that Microsoft releases this year. Publishes this year. I mean, shout out to As Dusk Falls, absolutely fantastic. That's really exceeding my expectations and blowing me away. But that Playground games, dude, they are. I understand why it's taken so long for this to come out.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. I don't know how much else what else to say other than just it's incredibly impressive. Even the opening, it just gives you feels, man. It's just like, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I want everybody out there to play Hot Wheels. You just play with them. You'll feel like a kid again. It's incredible.
Yeah, I can't wait to jump in. Obviously, I've got a ton of hours into Horizon, more so than a lot. You know, it's and I like I said, then I just finally, you know, I had to make room, and I was like, whatever, I'll come back to it. But now this DLC and watching everybody play it and what I've seen, I was a huge Hot Wheels fan as a kid. The first Hot Wheels DLC, I was cool with it. I didn't like it as much as everybody else did.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like over the top waiting for this. But now that I've watched people play it and I've seen how big it actually is, like you were talking about, Mav, and from what you're saying, it's probably even bigger than what I've seen people show off so far. I really can't wait to hop into this. This looks absolutely incredible. Again, shout out to Playground. Like you just said, Mav, I was going to bring up that exact point. Now we know why it took longer than normal for them to come out with this DLC. It makes a lot of sense.
This is only 1 and 2. I mean, we're going to get another big expansion later, right? So next year, maybe, I guess. I don't know, but like, if Playground is in another league. They just on another level.
They really are.
How they do it. They make Polyphony just look so bad. You know, I mean, they're like, Polyphony is. I mean, I like Gran Turismo, right? I've been a proponent for Gran Turismo. I like it. You know, this is an arcade racer. You know what I mean? But within a year to have Forza Horizon 5, and then for this expansion to drop, both of them blow like graphics and anything away that I've experienced in GT7 so far. And I enjoy GT7. I like it. It's fun, but like, I can't wait for Forza Motorsport now, man, because I can't wait to see what Turn 10 do. You know, like, this is Forza itself has 100% after, because GT7 has now come out. They've had the opportunity. Forza has cemented itself as 100%, no questions asked, the predominant go-to number one simulation racer and arcade racer.
Yep.
They got the whole freaking corner marketed on that. The only thing they don't have is kart racing. Maybe that'll be the next expansion, and they'll just get the trifecta.
That would be absolutely incredible. Boom's been all over that for the longest time, right? Playground doing a kart racer.
Could you imagine with a bunch of freaking Microsoft characters?
Yep, the Microsoft IP. Oh, brother. Dude, yeah. I'm not even a kart guy, but man, that'd be so absolutely freaking phenomenal, man. It would be so ridiculously good.
Call it Micro Kart.
Yeah. Why not? Kart X, whatever you want to do. Would be absolutely incredible though. And so shout out to Playground. I can't wait to jump into this, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mav. And I'm glad that other people, again, seen so many people playing this game. Obviously, it's a huge deal. So again, the run of Forza domination continues, and if they can pull off Fable the way that they've pulled off Forza Horizon, Playground, as they set as a goal to be one of the best studios in the world, if not the best studio in the world. I think their internal is the best. And I know you can say, well, everybody does that. Nah, not everybody does it out front like they did publicly. If they can pull off Fable and they can bring that quality that they've shown in cars over to an open world RPG setting, they will be one of the top developers. They already are, just based upon Forza Horizon, but if they can go outside of their usual and show that they can do a whole completely opposite genre in the same quality, one top studios in the world.
An early word is like that game Fable is beautiful, right? So environments
going to be off. Yeah. All you got to do is look at some of the artists that are posting stuff on Twitter that are part of Playground. Like, if they come close to what those artists can do, we're going to see one of the most beautiful RPG settings ever in game. And again, by watching Horizon and the environments that they've put into that game, I believe it. I believe it could be possible that we're going to see one of the best.
That whole
ever.
Hot Wheels area at nighttime is a sight to behold, dude. You got like all these different lights everywhere, and you got waterfalls and stuff, and then you got volcano. It's insane. Beautiful.
Awesome. I can't wait to jump in. Now you just made me even more excited to jump back in. Mav, before we get to the next topic, I gotta give a shout out to the 55 plus people joining us this evening. You all are looking amazing. We got the Rockin' Warrior Gamecast in here. Of course, shout out to you, sis. Good to see you as always. Oni, Spooky, Talos Re, Cool Cat Terry. Good to see you. It's been a while, for sure. The Fifth Horseman V is in the house. Gogo Poe is here. Isildur's Bane is here. We got who else we got here? We got Siki in the house. Siki, to answer your question, I talked a little bit about Borderlands 3. It did not grab me at first. I played it on PlayStation 4. I'm giving it a second go because I picked it up for $10 for the Super Deluxe Edition. Now that I'm into Borderlands 3, it is absolutely incredible Borderlands. I'm a Borderlands fan. I have found my love for Borderlands 3, and I'm absolutely over the moon for it. The different weapons, the creativity is there. That's what really draws me in, and it's amazing. So I'm absolutely loving Borderlands 3. It's Timmy is in the house, brother. Great to see you. Def Leppard, always good to see that name in here. One of my favorite bands from back then. Shane.
Oh, some sugar. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God. 8th grade dance, brother. Shane, good to see you, sir. As always, too. Big giant supporter. Thank you. General Spartan 27. Wouldn't have a chat without you, sir. Thank you for being here. And of course, the one, the only Vic the Click is here as well. John 907I is in the house. Good to see you, John. Appreciate you being here. Dr. Dinglenut. Great to see you as well. Kaitlin, shout out to you. Love you. I'm glad we can be peeling together. Losing skin.
She's still peeling too.
I don't doubt it. I know she was burnt too. Nico Hunt, great to see you in here. Forsaken Ghost, always great to see you, brother, even though you changed your name, but it's still great to see you. RazorNZ, always a great time to have you in the chat. Tony Grasso, again, wouldn't be a chat without you in here, brother. Thank you for dropping on in. We got Froggy T right in the house. Awesome to see you. And let's see here. Who else we got? We have Masshole 1977. Masshole. Great to see you. Brother Infinite Umbra in the house. Great to see you. And of course, the one and only Stone King X is up in here as well. Thank you all for dropping in here. Who else we got in here? Oh God, my chat. There we go. Lose my chat all the time. Boba Fett Gaming. Great to see you, sir. Thank you for dropping in here. Master Cloud X3. Calorie is in the house. Both of you. Thank you for dropping in and saying hi to me and Mav. We appreciate you guys so much. Asa from Game On Daily, of course, showed up in here. What's going on, Asa? It's been too long, man. You and I haven't talked. We did a couple podcasts together, like really short time frame apart, and then I haven't seen you, man, but good to see you. Alvin is in here. Alvin, what's going on? Let's see here. Who else we got up in here? Invader Gaming dropping on in. Great to see you, brother, as always. Thank you for dropping in and saying hi to us. Appreciate you. Who else am I missing? Oh, Mr. Joanna Dark. I can't forget you. You're always dropping in by. You drop in early and say hi. Thank you. Ghost Fixter, great to see you. Of course, the one, the only brother, lore master, Jasper, Mr. Actually Guy up in here. How you doing? Bionic Wolf, great to see you as well. Andrew Cullinane, Il Ray Tito, both of you, thank you for being here. Monster 530. Oh man, we got a lot of amazing people.
Did you get?
Up in here.
I can't read or write, but I can drive a tractor.
No, I did not get. I can't read or write, but I could drive a tractor. I'm glad you can drive a tractor, sir. I'm glad. I'm really glad. That's a good awesome.
Life skill.
It is. It's very important. And in fact, in my town, when I was stopped at the gas station, my town is a smaller town and we're out in the farm country. Dude just driving in about a 1950, 1960 tractor right into the gas station.
Nice. Now, I will say this about the tractor drivers, guys. All right. Yeah. So I appreciate you, but you know, you don't like have to be on the main highway, you know, sometimes driving at like 15 miles an hour for like 30 miles straight and block all the traffic. I understand maybe there's not a choice sometimes, but my God, this reminds me, dude. I was going out to a customer's house last week for my real work, and man, this guy was driving like it's a 2-lane highway, you know.
Yep.
And it's this hillbilly in a truck had a trailer on his truck, and he had a beam on the back of it, like some huge metal beam structure that he was carrying on this trailer. And this thing was like 30 feet wide. And it was going over onto the side, you know, into the fucking service lane, and it was going into the other lane. So he was like driving half.
Did he have flags on it at least? Did he have markers on it?
No, he didn't have like an oversized load truck in front of him. He didn't have anything on it. He was just driving. And I was like getting close to from behind him. I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to kill somebody. Because he was driving in the middle of the road between both lanes to make room for his thing. And then when a car would come on, he would scoot over.
Oh,
right.
My
but
God.
then he would have to scoot over enough to the right that it was like his trailer thing that was so far was like almost smashing all these like farm properties mailboxes. I mean, coming within like this close. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, fences and stuff. I mean, this huge metal steel structure thing that he's carrying was coming like this close to just annihilating everything. And it's coming about this close to the cars. And you see the cars just fucking dodging, like swerving, like, because they're not anticipating seeing this huge metal structure coming at their face. So they're just like swerving. Right. I'm like, my God. So I like slowed way down because I just could see something really bad happening. And I don't know what happened, but this guy ended up pulling off into the side of the road. And he's like, maybe he thought better, you know, like I'm going to kill somebody at this. But he was doing that for a few miles, man. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen somebody trying to attempt before in my life. Anyway.
Oh God. Yeah. We've got that up here too. So yeah, I understand completely your pain, Mav. Most of our tractor drivers at least try to drive in the shoulder so we can go by, but there's a lot of times where the roads are too skinny and they can't, and you got to sit behind them. And they've got, I
get that. You know, that's what it is. This guy should have had like a company deliver this thing. Whatever
he needed to have flags. Yeah, he needed to have flags on that at least. But yeah, no, it sounded like that he took matters into his own hands and probably wasn't the best decision.
No, yeah. I mean, usually when there's somebody like that, they have somebody in front of them that has like an oversized load warning and then behind them as well. You know,
I think it's probably the law. I don't think that was probably legal if he was taking up both lanes.
Definitely not legal because. I mean, I thought I would. If you've seen Final Destination, I thought I was about to witness a Final Destination moment. You know, like I thought that's what was about to happen.
That's not good, bro. That's not good at all. Oh my God. All right. Well, hey, listen, chat, you're all amazing. You're all beautiful. Thank you all for being here and joining me and Mav tonight. We do appreciate you immensely. And if you have not hit that like button, please go ahead and do so. And if you got a second and you want to share us out to tell everybody that we are live, please go ahead and do that. Again, business side of things, Mav and I don't do it often. People tell us we don't do it often enough a lot of times. It's just important for us to continue to grow this channel, which Mav has been doing just an amazing job over the past year and a half, 2 years now. So, but thank you all for being here. We love you all, and hope you're all having a great time. But let's get down to some topics. Now we talked
real quick, Pong. I have to say, I saw a notification on Twitter on YouTube that we just had our second birthday on the channel. I think.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's the second anniversary the other day for the creation of the channel.
How could you not have that written down somewhere, bro?
I don't.
It should have been like a celebration.
Yeah. I don't know. It disappeared. So anyway,
Kaitlin, take care of this guy. Would you? Jeez, oh man. All right, let's get down to some topics, man. Holy cow, we talked a lot of games already. My God, we are over an hour in already. It's crazy.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on Ubisoft yet.
Well, hey, you brought it up. We go ahead, jump right into it. If you want to jump into this, let's go. Ubisoft doing Ubisoft things today. For anybody who was not around on Twitter, let's fill you in a little bit with what came out about Ubisoft. Oh, brother. Where to start? Okay, well, news first broke that Ubisoft, and I believe this came out of an investor call, if I'm not mistaken, Mav. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's where this information came from. Ubisoft delays Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora to fiscal year 2023-2024. Not a small window here, Mav. This is a big window. This is from April of 2023 all the way to March of 2024, if anybody's wondering what this window looks like. So for anybody who doesn't remember, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was announced approximately, I want to say about a year ago, Mav, maybe a little over a year ago now, 14 months, 15 months, somewhere in there. Like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the movie is coming out this December. James Cameron's second Avatar movie will be out in theaters this December. So it was lining up perfectly. They announced it, said it would be out in 2022, which all made sense. Of course, you want to line it up as close to the movie as possible. The attention is, everybody's talking about Avatar. You got a game out. That's the way it used to always work. Unfortunately, companies have drifted away from that recently. But we thought there was a chance. They showed it off. They showed us some quick hits. It was just a basic announcement, but we did get to see some environment and stuff and some of the animals, the creatures, and that kind of stuff. And it was looking great. It's a first person shooter title, open world. Looked fantastic. And again, a lot of people were excited, myself included. I'm actually really excited about this game. And then they announced this. So delayed out of 2022 completely into a big, gigantic window. So from my personal kind of thoughts on it, when they give this type of window, I'm going to say late 2023 at the earliest. So Jeff Grubb added to that as well. He came out and quote tweeted Nibel, who had tweeted the information out, and said that he had heard a month ago that the game looked beautiful, but the gameplay was rough. That's what he heard a month ago. So if that falls in line, again, we know Grubb is very reliable when it comes to inside information. Mav, your thoughts on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora being delayed till fiscal year 2023, 2024?
Yeah, that one doesn't necessarily bother me in and of itself that much. I don't mind delays, right? Like this was not one of those that I was like, oh, I can't wait for Avatar. I'm excited to play it. From what I've seen from it, it could be potentially like Avatar type Far Cry, it looks pretty cool. I'm definitely down for it. But a lot of the other news that came out along with this, that was actually came out from, I forgot who tweeted this, but
Steven Totilo. Yeah.
There's game cancellations. And also not only that, but there's also some leaks about the potential announcements coming for this year.
Yes. That is correct. And I've got that. I think Nibel did that one too.
So,
didn't he?
As far as Avatar, whatever makes the game the best, I'm all for it. Right. Yeah. So, hey, delay it. I don't know what this means for Ubisoft Plus as well. If that's one of their premier titles that they were going to launch on console with. But other than that, I don't really necessarily care about that per se. I think that it's more of like everything along with this is kind of alarming for me. Right. Yeah. So we'll get, what is the other information that we got there?
Yeah, let's get into it. So a little bit more that came out in the investor call was gameplay reveals of Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope will be released on October 20th and more Skull and Bones on November 8th, respectively.
Okay.
The reveal of Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence for mobile, in line with stated strategy of expanding the brand's universe to a significantly larger audience. Sure. Okay. Go with it. Signature of new high value licensing partnership on mobile for one of their AAA brands. Yay. They will reveal the future of Assassin's Creed brand in September, which we knew was coming. So that's really cool. Yep, absolutely. They got an operating income of approximately $400 million. Good on Ubisoft. Cool. And strong support of the Ubisoft shareholders' annual general meeting. All resolutions were approved with a minimum of 95%. So that was big. Whatever.
They're all on the same page.
Yeah, all on the same page. And then Steven Totilo came out after this was announced.
Here's
and
where it gets more interesting.
Yeah. Ubisoft has canceled development of Splinter Cell VR, Ghost Recon Frontline, and 2 other announced games.
Unannounced games, yeah.
Unannounced games. So a total of 4 games have now been canceled by Ubisoft. Go ahead, Matt. Take it away since you talked about this a little bit. What were you thinking here, man?
Things are a little not, I don't know, like things are a little go iffy there right now. I mean, they've already announced Frontline to the public, right?
Yes.
They already announced Splinter Cell VR to the public. Frontline was announced probably earlier this year, I think, and Splinter Cell VR before that, last year probably. I don't know what's going on there right now. I know their stock's way down, right? If just compared to a year ago, it's like a third of what it was, right? We know that they've been trying to potentially find like a suitor, another investment type company or whatever to help stave off like hostile takeovers, acquisitions, and these kind of things. Now it seems like their shareholders are on the same page, but they're on the same page where they announced the cancellation of 4 of their games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the two that we know of that they canceled. I'm hoping what I'm hoping for is that they are having a change of direction. But if you put that in line with the other announcements with the mobile stuff, that takes that out of the equation, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems like they're just so like, don't know what the hell they're doing, man. Like, pick a direction at the Assassin's Creed stuff seems cool. It seems like they know what they're doing with that right now, right? It seems like they got a good idea for Assassin's Creed, and that's the main thing. It took years for them to figure out what Skull and Bones was for like switching to different types of models for that, and is this going to work? Is this going to work? Rebooting it like 2 or 3 different times, it seems like. And then coming out with this decision to release it at $70, like at the end of the day was their decision on that game, 60 on PC. And then now you have cancellation of these free to play games, which I'm all for that. Ghost Recon Frontline could have been good. I have no idea. I don't necessarily have an issue with free to play games. What I had an issue with was the Ubisoft announcement of like 4 of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to do Division free to play. We're going to do Ghost Recon free to play. We're going to do X Defiant free to play. We're going to do, like all these different things. It's like, what the hell are you guys doing? And then we all thought at the time Skull and Bones could be a free to play game. Right. Then we have Assassin's Creed is now turning into like Assassin's Creed Infinity. We don't really understand how that's all going to play out with that game. But now all of a sudden, all these things you've been working on behind the scenes and stuff and doing, now you're canceling everything. Like, I don't know. Like, that's a bad use of resources. You have your guys working on these things, testing, prototyping, announcing to the public, big marketing videos, announcement videos and you have them working on these things for like over a year. I'm like, hey, it's not going to work out. We're going to do something different now. I would have been like, cool, like that's great. Maybe they're having to change of direction and they want to go more of like just start making more regular games, and stop playing with their IP so much and trying to bastardize the Clancy brand. But then you see all this mobile stuff announcement, and it's like, well, okay, so that's not the case because they're just like shifting the free to play like console type stuff, and now they're going to be doing mobile games instead. And I don't know, man. Some of it is okay, like this Assassin's Creed announcements we're gonna get. I don't necessarily have a problem with Avatar being delayed or whatever. I'm not gonna get mad at a dev for needing more time to make a game as good as they can. What's weird is like that it's not gonna coincide anymore with the movie release, also. So I don't know how that will impact the game or not. But yeah, dude, I think there's trouble there, man. I think that either something's happening behind the scenes and they're having a hard look at themselves and trying to figure out how we're going to allocate our funds to the best of our ability to make our money because we're not doing well. But it seems like that's all Ubisoft does now. is keep looking at themselves, making different changes and change of directions, and they got all the internal struggles with the studios, with all those other issues that they've had with workplace culture and stuff like this that's been out in the public that we keep hearing that, you know, not much has been done about, you know. And now this, I just want them to freaking get on the right page, you know. And like, they got so many employees and so much talent. That's the most frustrating thing. They have Ubisoft makes good games, right? They're very talented, right? They have some of the best creators out there. I just want them to, these talented people that make all these great games, to be utilized in the best way possible, and not just use like we're just going to test all this random shit and figure out which different monetization models work. We're going to keep testing because at that point, that's not the priority of the creation of something that's important to them for like creative purposes is gone. Right? It's 100% just about what is going to maximize the most amount of profits. Now, I understand that's what business is, right? That's what business is. But when you're in the video games business, there also is an aspect of respect for the creative process, right? There's got to be a respect for the creative process, because there's got to be respect for the fans that love those IPs and the franchises that you've created, that spent all these years investing in. And it's maybe not in the best interest for your business in the long run to treat your games and franchises like this, because guess what? You lose fans, you lose people that are interested in the brand. And when you lose that, you lose your customers, and it hurts your business. Your stock is down, like it's a third of what it was just over a year ago. You got your first $1 billion franchise. Congratulations. What's that doing for you? It hasn't helped anything for your business, right? Like you're worth a third of what you were. Now you're canceling 4 projects. You're going more mobile and doing all this stuff. You have some of the most talented individuals across the board in the entire industry. One of the biggest companies out there. They got how many game studios? They got like 10,000 employees or whatever.
20,000 employees.
20,000. My God, that's bigger than Activision Blizzard.
Yes. They don't have any support studios whatsoever.
And they can't figure out.
It's all internal.
They can't figure out what they want to do. Like, just make some fucking games. Just make some fucking games. I mean, like how hard is it for them to decide, hey, we're going to make a great blah, 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 put this team on the project. The frustrating thing is we've heard from people that have had knowledge of Ubisoft about teams pitching things all the time and getting shut down, right? Because the number one question is, how is it going to be monetized? How is it going to fit into this model? How's it going to fit into this model? People don't want to play this. We've heard Yves Guillermo himself in interviews in the past talk about how nobody wants to play those type of games. They only want to play these kind of games. So this is the only thing we're going to make, right? And they're trying to fit everything into a square peg, you know? And it's like, please allow your creative people to do what they do best, because they have some of the most amazing people out there. And it's like, it's just being squandered right now. I just hate to see it, man. Anyway, that's my rant.
No, you make some valid points, Mav. And I was in the same camp as you when I first kind of saw this, but as I've thought about it throughout the day, right, I'm going to take a little different perspective on this one. And maybe I'm just looking for positivity. Maybe I'm just hoping, because I love Ubisoft. And Ubisoft is the fast food of video games for me. It's my go-to whenever I know I'm just going to have a good, fun experience, right? It may never be groundbreaking, it may never be something that's off the charts, but I know I'm going to get something really, really good when I go to a Ubisoft game. I've been a huge Assassin's Creed fan from day one, Watch Dogs, I wasn't into 2, but the first Watch Dogs was crazy. Loved Legion until it cost me saves, but I still think there's a good game there. So Ubisoft for me is just one of those classic publishers that, like you said, Mav, has some of the best talent in the world, that even some of their rushed projects are going to be good. Some of their side projects are going to be surprisingly good, like Extraction, which we were totally caught off guard with when we downloaded it and played it together. So I want Ubisoft to be what they can be. So I take a look at this a little bit differently now that I've been sitting on it for all day. Number one, they're not going to give up the mobile side of things. Riot Games, it just came out this week. Riot Games put 3 games into mobile 16 months ago. They've already made $1 billion. Okay. Everybody's going to chase that rainbow. Microsoft is one of the big parts of Activision Blizzard is king for Microsoft. Microsoft wants in on the mobile market. Okay. This is happening across the board. PlayStation has put together a mobile team. They are going to be bringing some of their franchises to mobile. This is happening across the board. Whether we agree that mobile is awesome or not doesn't matter. There's millions and millions and millions of people playing mobile games, and so they're going to keep chasing that. So I never will not expect them to try to do that from Ubisoft's standpoint. They're one of the biggest publishers in the world. Of course, they're going to go after the mobile market. But here's what I'll say about the announcements of the cancellations and about the delay of Avatar. While, yes, I would have loved to have the Avatar game out for the movie launch and kind of selfishly, because I was looking forward to it. They also came out with a statement about the Avatar delay and said, we want this game to be perfect. And whether or not that's realistic, again, we'll see, but we know how open world games goes. But what that does say to me is that they are taking the production of that game seriously. And there was I forget who made the statement. Somebody, one of the journalists made the statement that they've heard that Ubisoft wants to make Avatar an established franchise, not just a single game. So they're looking to establish Avatar as one of their franchises. And if that's the case, and they're going to go back to it and make sure that it's polished, make sure that the gameplay is right, if what Jeff Grubb was saying that it was rough, then I think that's a great thing. And I think that we've learned that. And if Ubisoft is going to take their time, we've seen what they can do with an Assassin's Creed when they take their time. We've seen what they can do with a Far Cry when they take their time. I'm all for it, because if I get a amazing Avatar game out of it as an Avatar fan, fantastic, then I'm all on board with this. So I think that is a good sign that they're not just looking at the investment. They're not just looking at, hey, this would be an amazing game to have out when the movie launches, so we got to get this out the door. They're not making that typical publisher investment move and saying, we got to push this out, get it done, right? So for me, that's a good sign right there. As Cool Cat Terry said in the chat, she made a good point. I know she's a big Ubisoft fan too. Shout out to you, Cool Cat. She said that they've lost a lot of employees. And they've been hemorrhaging employees for a variety of reasons. They still have incredible amounts of employees. They still have an incredible amount of talent, but they have lost a lot of people. So them trimming off some of these games, Mav, to me says that, again, Ubisoft is starting to maybe take a different look at their business practices. And what they're doing is they're making a more efficient system now, or trying to trim off some of we're going to make 50 games and we hope 3 of them hit. Right? There may be that they're looking at this differently and saying, look, we need to trim. We've lost a bunch of employees. We need to trim down some of these games. We need to maybe put more talent into the games that have the most promise, get those games right. And then we will sell games if we get these games right that we already have in far along in development. And if we put out a better quality product that lives up to the old Ubisoft standards, and don't try to shovel a bunch of games out there, maybe our fan base will respond and buy our games more so. And I think that to me is a good look for Ubisoft. It sucks that they have to cancel games. It sucks that people spent time and effort and creativity on those games. But at the same time, sometimes those tough decisions have to be made. And they're taking a loss and they're cutting their losses and they're saying, yep, we just burnt up, a pile of money. But we're going to take that loss because we think in the end, we're going to be better off for it. I'm all about that. Now, we still have stuff like XDefiant out there, things that both, you and I and many others have panned and said, oh my God, what are you guys doing over at Ubisoft? Look, as long as that's not the only thing they make, like an XDefiant, as long as Ubisoft continues to put into their franchises, their popular franchises, and tries to create new franchises like Avatar and puts all of their effort into that and making them good games, they can go ahead and try all that other stuff they want to. I'm okay with it. Again, whether or not I think it's good business or not doesn't matter. I don't run multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies, so that's not up for me to decide. I can look at it and say, why are you guys wasting your time? But at the end of the day, if they want to go do that, as long as they don't sacrifice the stuff that got them where they are, then I'm cool with it. Now, they've done changes to Assassin's Creed that not all of us agree with. Supposedly, we're still going to get a single-player Assassin's Creed experience along with this bigger games as a service types Assassin's Creed. As long as that happens and I can still have my single-player Assassin's Creed, I'm cool with them trying to do this games as a service style on the side and try to make something bigger that's monetized that they can make a lot of money off. I'm cool with that. So I think, Mav, for me, now that I've sat on this, I'm just going to look at it a little bit bright. And I'm going to say we got a lot to wait and see. There's a lot of wait and see over the next few years from Ubisoft. But I think that maybe, Mav, they are finally taking a look at what they've been trying to chase, what they've been trying to do. And maybe, just maybe, they're saying to themselves, we need to make better decisions. We need to scale down what we're trying to do with all these games.
Yeah, like eight free-to-play games all at the same time. I mean,
right. So maybe, Mav, I'm going to take a little brighter look at this.
Like I said, that's the best I can hope for, right? Like now, like that they're making the decision to move on from those ideas. Again, the point that they're deciding to work on all these mobile things now kind of takes that away from me, right? Like a little bit, because that kind of coincides with that. However, you know, like the glimmer of hope for me still is a Splinter Cell remake, you know?
You and I both, you know that.
Assassin's Creed Rift could be a good thing, especially if some of the rumors are true about maybe scaled down, more stealth approach and that and stuff like that as well. Maybe they're going to stop bastardizing the Clancy brand with all of these random things. You know, that's a hope. Heartland supposedly, I guess, is still a go, right?
Yep.
I don't know why Defiant was not on that list of cancellations today. I mean,
because they've invested so much, man. Right? They brought in what's his face? I forget his name off the top of my head from Call of Duty to head that up. Right? They obviously probably have a lot of faith in that. I think the branding was all wrong, Mav, and the gameplay from everybody who got to play that wasn't supposed to talk about it, but yet everybody talked about it. It didn't sound like the gameplay was up to par, but they put it back in the oven and they didn't force it out the door. Right now, we haven't heard. It's been radio silence on X Defiant, right? And so I think, to me, that says that they're going to go back and fix what they heard was wrong and take the time. Again, if you, right. But if you take the time, Matt, and you don't shovel it out just to get it out the door, then I'm cool with that. Right now, Skull and Bones, it's supposedly, you know, from everything we've heard, it's been reworked 3 or 4 times. Yes, eventually a game does have to come out. And does Skull and Bones kind of seem like, they're kind of pushing it out the door at this point? Yeah, but this game's been in production for 7-8 years, okay? Eventually something's got to happen, okay? So what I'm saying is 3 years into a project, you start putting, you know, you just shove it out the door because it's got to get out the door. As long as you're not doing that, I'm cool with it. Just take your time, do these things. Just make sure that they're right. And again, not everything's going to hit. Not everything's going to be a star. But as long as you're trying, and as long as you're trying to make them the best possible, I'm cool with it. And so I think that that's where I'm at with this. And Cool Cat, I know from a business side of point, the devs are getting paid, and that is a part of the entertainment. There's stuff that's created that never sees the light of day. You're absolutely 100%. What I was talking about there is, I hate to see that talent go to work where they could have been elsewhere on some of the other games. That's what I'm talking about, because Ubisoft does have so much talent that those people could have been used on some of the games that are going to come out. That's what I always hate to see when I think about the time frame.
Waste of those devs' time. It's a misallocation of resources, right? Like, because 4 games canceled, right? I understand games get canceled all the time, but like, when they announced, what was it? Within like a few months, we got an announcement of X Defiant, we got an announcement of Heartland, we got an announcement of REcon Frontline. Then Skull and Bones had been reworked again. We didn't know what it was, and you got the Assassin's Creed Infinity announcement, and all these things like one after another, right? And then it's like, okay, like cool. How could like where's the regular games? And we got Splinter Cell remake announcement, so it's like cool. You know, there's a regular there's like a regular game, you know, like something. And I'm not saying that they only need to make those kind of games. I'm okay with both. I like free to play games. I like battle royale games. I like all different kinds of games. You know what I mean? But it seems like they were putting so much resources into one avenue, trying to like roll the dice and hope to hit it big with which, because all it takes is one, you know, all it takes is one of those games to become the next Fortnite, you know, and that's like what they're trying to do is like, well, you know, if we can just gamble and we get the right one, so we're gonna throw all of our IPs at it. We're gonna throw all these different studios at it, and now what do you see? You see two different games get canceled. One of those free to play games, you see a VR venture get canceled. You see two other unannounced games get canceled. So who knows what the hell those were, right? And it's like, well, I wonder if like they had just decided to make something that those devs actually wanted to make to begin with. And maybe it could have come out and we could have seen a really cool like next Rainbow Six single player / co-op / multiplayer game, or like the next actual Splinter Cell game, next sequel, or the next Ghost Recon, or the next whatever. Or you know, there's so many different things that Ubisoft has that they can create. But I have to also say this, like sometimes no matter what they do, people bash them because like, you know, they came out with Far Cry 6, right? It's traditional Far Cry, right? It stays true to the model, it stays true to the formula. For a Far Cry fan, it's exactly what I wanted, right?
Yeah.
But then they still get crucified because it's not different enough.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So
correct.
I like sometimes they can't win no matter what.
Yeah. No.
So for me, it's like they got to find that like balance, right? You got to do enough new things. You got to do enough carrying franchises forward, and you got to do enough of the other kind of experiments and stuff. But if you just do like 90% of this, you know, it's, and then you just all of a sudden have a bunch of cancellations with all this experimental stuff. It's like, man, and it's not like, well, we can't make an excuse like it's been working for them.
Right.
Because we've seen what's happened with their like business and their stocks and stuff like that. I mean, I think it was like the other day I had looked at it and it was like $7 a share when it was like $23 or $24 just like a little over a year ago. It's not good.
They're bloated, Mav. They're a bloated company, and they've been for a long time. And that kind of shout out to super chat here from Anthony Rodriguez. Microsoft buy Ubisoft $5, $4.99. Thank you very much for the super chat. Listen, if you, it would be an internal nightmare to take on Ubisoft. Okay, an internal nightmare to take on 20,000 employees. Activision Blizzard is going to take years to integrate into Microsoft as it stands now. They were striking again today. Yeah, right. And Ubisoft taking on 20,000 employees across the entire globe. Would it be possible? Of course it's possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility, and I never say never. But to go, what Microsoft has done has doubled their size, Xbox-wise, each time that they've done the last two big acquisitions. ZeniMax doubled their size, and now Activision Blizzard is doubling their size again. To do Ubisoft would double their size again. Look, you can grow too fast, and we've seen some growing pains from Microsoft acquisitions. Do I think it's possible? Certainly. Do I think it ever happens? No, just because of the nightmare it would be. And Microsoft would have to make some very, very hard decisions because of the bloat that Ubisoft does have. There would Activision Blizzard, there's probably not going to be layoffs. There might be some where there's some crossover between some of their departments. Yeah. That may happen, which is never a good thing. We don't like to see that in the industry. Microsoft doesn't like to do that. But with Ubisoft, you'd have to make some really hard decisions. There'd be a lot of cuts. And it's never good press to do that. And you don't want people to lose their jobs that way. But it would probably have to happen with Ubisoft. Mav, do you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think Ubisoft needs some new management. They need more, like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be acquired by somebody. I think the families have been so involved for so long there, and I mean, they're not going to relinquish control or anything like that, but it's like they need some creative control. Like they need some kind of big time creative infusion to like take lead of these studios and stuff, and them to put, instead of buddies and stuff in charge or whatever, like, you know, some of the workplace culture stuff's been alarming there, right? Instead of this like bro culture thing that they had been going on there for so long, just get some infusion of like true creatives to help run some of these studios. You know, you got the funds to go out and hire some elite talent, right? People that are truly passionate about the creation of games and have real true vision for what they want to make. There's tons of legends in the industry all the time, moving from one place to another, right? I think they could really do with some of that to help lead and take control of their studios, as well as human resource intervention type stuff going on there as well. And maybe the family and some of the people who have been in control kind of take a more of just a board of directors type approach, right?
And that'd be the biggest question, right, Mav? Would Ubisoft ever be willing to, like EA, bring on a Zampella and let them take over, right? Would they ever allow that, or would that be too much to ask, right? But that would be the perfect scenarios that they went and found somebody like a Zampella, which, look, those are few and far between, okay? To be able to come in and take over certain divisions within Ubisoft and make them right again, I don't know. Again, I think it's going to take some real self-reflection, like you said, on the family's part, to make some tough decisions like that eventually. And I think that would be the best bet for them. But again, in the meantime, if they could figure it out themselves, that's best case scenario. They could look at themselves hard in the mirror and say, look, what we've been trying to chase isn't working. We've tried to put our eggs in too many baskets at this point. And we need to, kind of streamline that back a little bit and refocus on what made us Ubisoft originally. I think that's the best case scenario, with a splash or three here and there, like you said, Mav, with some new IP that they really heavily invest into, that they believe in, and just make sure that they're doing it right each time out. Again, I don't ever expect mobile division to go away, but it would take some internal self-reflection to get that done. And I don't know if they're ready to do that yet. Like I said, I'm going to take the position that I think that there might be some signs that they're doing a little bit of that. But to that degree, like you said, Mav, to bring in a big name to kind of take over, I don't know if they're ready to do that. I don't know if they're ready to relinquish.
Activision Blizzard is already going to be enough of a challenge. I expect. I know that Microsoft's going to be making some other big acquisitions down the line. I mean, I think we all can say that. It just depends on which one is the correct one. I don't know if, like, I would love it to be Ubisoft. I mean, it would be amazing.
Yeah, those IP for sure.
I just don't know if Microsoft would see it as like the best thing for them, right?
Right.
Compared to other things, you can get a good deal on Ubisoft right now, though. That's the only thing. But like, you're going to come with a lot of backlash after that acquisition comes through, and you have to lay off like a good portion of the employees, unless they wouldn't have to somehow. But I don't know.
I mean, yeah. Again, never say never. Again. Phil is of the mindset to protect the industry. And if there was somebody else hanging out there that was going to try to do a hostile takeover of Ubisoft, that would not be good for the industry, would Phil possibly try to step in? If the attorney said that they could get it done without, again, they're already getting the scrutiny they are from Activision Blizzard trying to take on a Ubisoft. That scrutiny would ramp up even more, whether it's fair or not, doesn't matter. So I think Phil would try to protect Ubisoft if there was somebody coming in that was a hostile takeover that potentially would be looking at breaking up Ubisoft and selling off chunks to the highest bidder. I think Phil would probably try to do that because Ubisoft is a pillar in this industry and has been for a very long time. And that IP is important to the history of this industry. So I think Phil would, if he had his way, try to step in. But I just don't think from the outside looking in that it would make a lot of sense for them at this point in time, even after the Activision Blizzard deal goes through. I think it'd be too much. I really do. Great discussion for sure. And yeah, Oni, random question from Oni. Shout out to Oni. Was there a rumor that there was a celeb cameo in Starfield? Yeah, that was an unsubstantiated rumor that was floating around that Tom Cruise was going to show up in Starfield at one point.
Nice.
I think that all died down last year. I don't think there's any truth to that. Could we be surprised when the game launches? Yeah, we could be surprised that maybe he's got some kind of appearance in there. but there was at one point somebody was trying to say that Tom Cruise was going to play one of the main characters and one of the in Starfield. I don't think that's happening. So no, but that was just a random question I saw and I had to laugh a little bit because I had totally forgotten about that until it was said. Let's see, Mav, where should we go next, sir? Oh boy. Let's talk about The Last of Us, Mav.
Oh, this one? Okay.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go talk a little Last of Us.
You know, $70 games is my favorite topic, Pong Soul.
Yes, I do, sir. And you had epic rant on FSP a couple of weeks ago, sir. So Mav, The Last of Us remake, and I'm gonna put remake in quotes as of right now. Has been on everybody's mind. It's caused a lot of conversation because the $70 price point was talked about, and that's confirmed that they're going to charge $70. We had some devs do interviews in which they addressed the $70 and said, look, this is one of the, and I'm paraphrasing here, I don't have the quotes directly in front of me, but they said it's one of the most ambitious remakes that they ever have been a part of, that they are building this from the ground up. It was highly insinuated, if not directly said, that they were going to be bringing in modern control features to this, along with updating the graphics to take advantage of the PlayStation 5's power. That's why the $70 price point was fair. When these remarks were made, obviously much of the community assumed that meant they were going to bring The Last of Us 2 type controls over to The Last of Us and update it. And it made a lot of sense when they said that. Again, I'm on record as saying that value is subjective as always. If somebody's willing to pay $70, somebody's willing to pay $70. I'm also on record as saying The Last of Us, number one, being a top 10 all-time game for me, one of the GOATs for me personally, that I believe that there are certain games that do deserve to be remade from time to time, because I think the franchise, you know, that certain game or that franchise is so important to the industry that it's, to keep it relevant makes sense to me. And I like it that future generations will continue to be able to play The Last of Us no matter what. And to have it be the best experience possible for whenever they do that, I think it's worth it. Now, people have disagreed with me on multiple points on this, and then whatever the case may be, doesn't matter. It's just personal opinion. However, we got some leaks this week, Mav.
Not only leaks, actually, PlayStation just 37 minutes ago has released a video and also a blog post. I think they have interestingly. Yeah, I got it. I mean,
you got it. Go ahead, read it, brother. Read it. If you got the blog post, go for it. I did not know this happened, so go. This is breaking news, everybody.
Sid Schumann, senior director of Sony Interactive Entertainment Content Communications, has written this. So, this isn't from the Last of Us team. This is from. It seems like Content Communications, somebody that's been aware of some of the backlash potentially going on recently on social media. The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 will feature a host of gameplay and presentation enhancements that will bring the game closer to its original vision. According to co-president Neil Druckmann, you can learn more in a new video from developer Naughty Dog that dives into the game's many updates and enhancements with creative director Sean Escagig and game director Matthew Gallant. And so there's a video, okay? Then I'll go on to read what the enhancements are, because they do detail this. While The Last of Us Part 1 can render native 4K at targeted 30 frames per second, or dynamic 4K at targeted 60 frames per second, with an asterisk. I don't know. It's because it's targeted, I guess.
Targeted, not locked. So,
but it's weird. There's not an asterisk on the 30 frames per second. There's just an asterisk on the 60 frames per second.
Okay.
And features PS5 mainstays like DualSense and wireless controller haptics, trigger effects, and 3D audio. Asterisk. There's two asterisks on that one. I don't know why there's asterisk in this. Anyway, it's clear that there's a lot more going on here than a simple resolution and frame rate bump. It's a complete overhaul. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
From the art direction to the character models.
Yeah.
The entire game has been rebuilt from the ground up to take advantage of a new generation of graphical capability. allowing this game to reach the visual fidelity that the studio aspired for when crafting this experience.
Okay.
You read how that read, right? You heard how that read, right? When crafting this experience. Okay.
Correct.
The PS5's powerful hardware drives a host of visual benefits, from denser physics with tons of bumpables and chippables. Bullets can now rip apart concrete, environmental objects.
Sweet. Yeah.
And cinematics now transition seamlessly to gameplay.
Okay.
Motion matching technology means the character animations flow more convincingly.
Yeah, and I said that.
Intuitively and realistically. Mm-hmm. All adding another layer of believability to characters and their interactions with the world.
Okay.
Further, AI upgrades mean that characters inhabit the world in a more authentic and realistic way, which we've heard some backlash about the AI actually in the leaked videos that we've seen. Such as buddy characters navigating cover to avoid enemy NPC sightlines more authentically.
bro, the leak. For anybody who didn't see, hold on, man, I gotta interrupt real quick. For anybody who didn't see the leak, because look, the leak showed a scene, a fight, right? Joel, you're obviously in control of Joel. Ellie's following you around, right? That's what happened in the first one. But as Joel was out in cover, she was running around in the open with gunfire going off. She was following you around aimlessly, like the old
that's
AI.
not supposed to happen according to this blog post. Because as buddy characters navigating cover to avoid enemy NPC sightlines more authentically. So maybe Ellie's just really brave.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it. Yep.
We'll go with that.
To
her personality.
Well, again, these were leaks, and I said that from the beginning. We got to see actual developer. I can't wait to go watch this video because that's exactly what I asked for in the DMs yesterday. Mav, was when I need to see developer side by side as to what they improved here.
And we're not done. So the enhancements are all in the name of increasing the game's immersion, but the improvements don't stop there. Naughty Dog worked with their community to integrate some fan requests, including a permadeath mode, a speedrun focused mode, and a host of brand new unlockable costumes for Joel and Ellie. The game also hosts 60 plus accessibility options, outpacing what the developer was able to offer with The Last of Us Part 2, and includes a new audio description mode, ensuring that play is rewarding and inclusive for all. Okay, so here's where the Astras come into play. Astras 4K display device required, and double Astras 3D audio via TV speakers or analog USB stereo headphones.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So the leaks were real. So they have done nothing with the gameplay, right? In the DMs when we were talking about this, Mav, when the leaks came out, and this is pretty much everybody that had seen the leaks were kind of having the same statements. 3-Bit has played that game recently, so he confirmed. I haven't played The Last of Us in a while, so I was kind of going off memory, but 3-Bit confirmed what I was talking about. But just community-wide, a lot of the discourse around the leaks, people were saying the same thing. So visually, yes, the character models, the CGI, all of that was upgraded. That was all done. You could see that in the video. Some of the leaks were HDR recorded, non-HDR, so it looked washed out. I was not worried about that. I knew that's not how the game was going to look, obviously. I didn't care so much about that. So visually, they're confirming they've done all these upgrades, okay, on the visuals. Yeah. Yes, we saw that.
Animations more smooth.
Animations, I said the animations look smoother as Joel was walking, running, traversing, leaping through windows. That looks smoother to me. I said that right in the DMs, so that's confirmed. Okay. AI looked exactly the same in these leaks. Again, it was a brief glimpse. It wasn't a lot of gameplay, but the AI, again, I watched Ellie just running out in the open. Joel's behind cover, and she's just slowly walking back into the room again as there's gunfire. So I didn't see the AI improvement, but we've got confirmation through this blog post. Again, this is breaking, so I haven't watched the video, folks. I'm sure I will after this, but that the gameplay that they talked about updating that's not real. That's not a part of this, that this is the old controls. We knew from the controller schemes that they showed on the leaks that there was no prone, and there was no dodge, which was in The Last of Us Part 2, which people were hoping for. The gunplay, to me, Joel shooting people, looked exactly the same as number 1. It did not have the number 2 feel to it of realism. We saw the melee attacks looked exact same animations, so those have not been updated either. So they're confirming exactly what we thought. Okay, man. So we went back and forth in DMs about this. Now that you've heard this, math, $70, again, it's going to be in the eye of the beholder. There's going to be people out there that are more than happy to pay for this, for the stuff that you talked about, the haptics they're going to have in there, the trigger feel, all that kind of stuff. To me, all worthless. I don't care if I've never had the PlayStation 5 controller in my hand. Things in my hand, the vibrations, I turn off vibration in almost every single game that I have that I play. It does nothing for me. And I don't care what you want to say. For me personally, it's just not that big a deal. It doesn't do anything for me to immerse me in the game because I feel rain in my hand. Okay. It just doesn't. But I know there's a ton of people out there who love this. Okay. That absolutely fall for this every single time, that think that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's cool. That's a personal opinion. More power to you. There's going to be people that pay $70 for this game, Matt. For you personally, when you hear this, do you think there was a little bit of bait and switch here from what the devs originally said was going to happen with this remake? Is this more of a remaster than it is a remake? Is it a hybrid? What do you think, brother? Where are we at with this?
I think it's a remaster. I mean, okay, so I would put this like, what was Mass Effect to you? The Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Like, I would put this in the same category as that, right? This is.
Oh, I mean, the first, yeah, I agree. Overall, Mass Effect was a remaster,
right?
But with the first one, they did do a lot of work without changing the engine, right? They did the maximum they could with Unreal Engine 3, I believe Mass Effect 1 was in.
This is the same vein to me, right? Because this is like they improved all the visuals, they improved the character models, they improved the animations, they improved some of the gameplay type stuff, but it's ultimately the same game, right?
Yep.
So that tells me remaster. Now, remember Mass Effect, we got 3 games for $60.
Correct.
And, they put a lot of work into that, right? This is the one game, not even including as much content as the first original game did, with factions missing. And
this is half a game. Don't forget that, folks. There was a multiplayer in the first one. Steel would kill me if I didn't mention it.
And this is 70, right?
Yep.
So I'm just kind of looking at this saying, like, this is just a massive cash grab. I mean, I'm just going to call it for what it is. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't put hard work into this, that it's not an improvement.
Right.
For sure it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's the same game with just a lot of improvements, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not
visually
a brand new game.
Yes.
Not like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, right? Those are brand new games, right? Those are remakes.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're looking at it on the screen. I recognize this stuff. You know what I mean? I've played a lot of The Last of Us. I never played all the way through because I didn't really like it too much. But it looks very, very, very similar with just enhancements and improvements. So to me, the main question is, like, do I think this even needs to exist? Personally, no. Okay. I think the PS4 remaster holds up, right? I think that everybody would agree with that for the most part. Like, we don't necessarily need this. Like, I think they could have been working on something else. Now, if they wanted to for creativeness, they really wanted to put their effort into it, and like, I wanted to really create the vision that we had for the first game, for the second time.
Right.
Because they've already done that on the PS4. I think that was probably what the marketing was originally for the first PS4 remaster. You know what I mean? Bring in the true what they intended to create to begin with, now brought to the PS4. That's probably what I would love to go see the marketing for that. Actually, I'm going to dig for that, because that's essentially what they're doing all over again. And they're finding a way to sell the game to you 3 times. Yep. For full price. This third time, the fullest price with the least amount of content. Now, you can say they try to make up for that amount of content with the extra modes, that they're throwing in there. But that's not like, that's that's not a whole lot of content. That's like,
right.
It's
Right.
the same campaign. They're just giving you different ways of playing the same
it's
thing.
very
right?
limited. It's a very limited audience that they're applying that for, right? That's
Right.
very limited when it comes to speed running and stuff. What's your
Yeah.
percent of people that do speed runs in The Last of Us?
So you got the Jaspers of the world, right? Stuff like that.
Right,
But like,
right.
I mean, I'm just saying, man, like, I'm not saying that it doesn't look impressive. It looks great. All Sony,
Yeah.
it looks great to begin with. The PS4 remaster still looks great of The Last of Us.
Yep.
I just don't know. Like, I can't defend the fact that they're trying to resell this game for a third time at $70 with less content than they've ever had in it before, and without it being a true remake. Like,
Correct.
I'm just saying what it is. I'm just calling it for what it is. And the fact that did this to begin with. Remember when they announced this to begin with, there was massive backlash.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there was massive backlash about that. Like, when people were like, what? Last of it was a rumor at first. And people were like, what the fuck? Like, okay. And you actually had PlayStation fans get upset.
Right.
Right. And the more we're seeing of this now, I'm seeing more of that. I'm seeing PlayStation fans start to get a little bit more upset because they're starting to feel like they're trying to get taken advantage of. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't blame them.
No.
Because I'm not even going to buy this game, but I feel like Sony's trying to take advantage of me. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I'm not all for this at all.
Well, look, they're doing this because they know they can. Okay. And again, it's business at the end of the day. And until the customers stop buying this stuff, again, Nintendo does this. They're going to continue to do this. This funds other projects, right? This funds other things that they're going to do, but they know they can get away with it. Now, don't forget, my big problem here is they brought out Uncharted Remastered, right? The Legacy of Thieves collection, and charged what, $50 for the entire collection? And they did a lot of work. Like that game, that was like a Mass Effect remaster. That's how much work went into especially the early Uncharted. It looked absolutely ridiculously different than it ever did before. That was worth it. And they only charged $50. Mm-hmm. You're going to take a game that has been remastered, like you said already, Mav, remastered again. Yes. From the video, I'm just watching this video for the first time with all of you as well. I'm seeing a lot more particle effects, a lot more stuff breaking. Yes, all of that is there. The lighting from the flashlight and stuff looked better than even in the remastered version. I could see the work that they've done there. But you're going to ask your customers to pay $70 for this game, and you don't have multiplayer included. You don't have factions as part of it. Now, you can all say, well, most people don't remember The Last of Us for the multiplayer, but that was a promise you made that was coming to The Last of Us 2, that you were going to have the multiplayer. Now you're turning into the multiplayer into something even bigger, which is fine, but you broke that promise, and you're not even going to bring back factions for this as kind of a consolation to say, hey, we're still going to bring you. We're coming with the new factions. It's going to be gigantic. Don't worry. You guys are going to see why it's taken so long, why we broke our original promise to have factions for The Last of Us 2. You're going to see that eventually. But what we're going to do in the meantime is we're remastering this game. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make it right. We're going to bring back factions for The Last of Us 1. We're going to have that remastered as well, or remade, whatever they're calling it at this point. And we're going to include that in the $70 price point. Okay, now you're starting to talk. Now, okay, there's some more value there. But for them to bring out the entire Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection for $50, which was a ton of work, which looked absolutely impressive, well worth it, and then turn around and say, well, yeah, but we're bringing out Last of Us 1 again, and we're going to charge you $70 this time. But no, we really did a lot of work on this one.
Yeah.
No.
Is it gonna on the PS6? Is it gonna be Last of Us Remastered 3? Last of Us 1 Remaster 3.
Well, they'll have the trilogy by that point, so they'll probably remaster the whole package.
Yeah, you'll have an edition with like the PS3 version, the PS4 version, the PS5 version, and the PS6 version all in the same. What do you charge for that? $120? Like I mean,
right. That's yeah. But again, it's up to the customers. Again, if you want to pay the $70, pay the $70. I personally, at this point, as much, again, I consider The Last of Us 1. There's only one Last of Us for me. Okay. I will not play Last of Us 2. I've watched multiple playthroughs. I hate what Drunkman did to the story. Okay. I absolutely despise it. The gameplay is gorgeous. The graphics they're on another level.
It has haptics on the giraffe petting Pong.
Yes, on the giraffe petting. That's great. Look, there's only one Last of Us for me. It's one of my all-time favorite games. I think it deserves to continue to exist in the best form that it possibly can. But at a $70 price point, I would never buy this. I would wait for it to come to PlayStation Plus Premium eventually, which it will, or I wait for a sale, maybe half price, maybe $35, $30 somewhere in that neighborhood. I would pick it up again to play through it for what they've done here. But for $70, personally, not me. And I think that they did mislead their customers with their early statements. I think that this is great. They finally put out they had to. I was waiting for this, man. That's crazy that they did this during our show, because I was waiting for this. And that's what I said in the DMs. The leaks are one thing, but I'm not seeing a lot of change. Show me actually what you did. But now that they've laid out that this is all visual plus some haptics, then again, your original statements that you were bringing this to a more modern gameplay style, that is misleading. That's why a lot of PlayStation fans I see are actually speaking up now too. Some hardcore fans over there are saying, yeah, no, this crosses the line here. This is not what we were expecting at all. So I think that Sony does deserve the criticism here for this. The way they were talking about this game, they gave people a completely different impression what they were going to get for $70. There's no way that I could say that this game is justified at $70. No way.
I'm asking the chat right now. Put a poll out there. Is
put a poll
Last of Us Remake worth $70? Right. Take a look at your phones or your PC browsers, and I'm curious what our chat has to say. After we're done with this poll, I'm going to put up a second poll. I'll have a second question about this as well. But I don't know, man. Like, part of the things I talked to you about in the DMs is like, I have seen more outrage over this than anything else previously from like the diehard PlayStation fans, starting to kind of like feel like, what's going on here? Why are they doing this? Now, whereas we've had our last show, we actually praised PlayStation because of competition actually making strides now. They had PlayStation Stars there. You got your subscription service added now. Like they're going to be making strides with that and improvements. Like I've been playing Stray day one and all these things, but then you have stuff like this, which is like the complete contrast of that. Right. I've seen some people blaming Jim Ryan for for the $70 thing on this, as well. And prominent PlayStation diehard YouTubers, right. That are maybe getting a little fed up and even questioning some of the moves lately. I've even listened and I heard a clip that was shared around on Twitter about Colin Moriarty kind of being like, how are we guys thinking about, how is Sony doing right now? And questioning the fact that like, their sales aren't really anything to speak of if you look at the actual number of consoles that are out there, right? Because it's a pretty low attachment rate for their most premier titles, right?
Correct.
Nothing compared to what Nintendo has,
No.
So which begs to question, like what we kind of talked about was like them trying to be that Nintendo, of the hardcore consoles, right? That them trying to be that like, this is a place to play quality, and you can only play it on PlayStation, and we're going to charge more for quality, and this is where this is where you get that experience, It ain't working.
Nope.
It ain't working for them. And, people applauded this and said that's the only way to do things. And you know what? They're not Nintendo. It's working for Nintendo. It wasn't working for PlayStation. They have actually decided to shift course, right? Mm-hmm. And what we have here now is like, you got two PlayStations. You have your side that I believe Jim Ryan's pushing, right? Mm-hmm. With the PlayStation Stars, with the PlayStation Plus, extra tiers, going more live service games, all of these kind of things, right?
He sees the future.
Making crucial acquisitions, go to PC ports, all of these things. I believe that's Jim Ryan's influence, right? And I believe we have this old influence of old Sony as well, kind of like what worked for them last generation, right? What worked for you last time isn't necessarily going to work this time. We've seen actually, I'll go ahead and go on record. I'm going to say in general, $70 games model has not worked, period. I mean, we've seen a downturn on sales of games that are $70 from huge franchises. Now, some games hasn't mattered. It has not improved the quality of some games, like Call of Duty Vanguard was $70, right? Did it help that? No. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was $70. Did it help that? No. Battlefield 2042 was $70. Did it help that? No. And in fact, we've seen a downtrend in amount of sales on those franchises, right? Madden was like a joke of the gaming community the last 2 years, $70. I haven't seen any kind of proof out there that the $70 model has actually improved things, and in fact actually has hurt sales potentially on some of these biggest franchises, and maybe raised the expectations from gamers that aren't kind of getting back the value that they felt like they're putting back into the games. Now you may have like God of War Ragnarok's probably going to be $70 and it's going to smash, right? So you're going to have your one-offs and probably exceptions like that. I don't foresee God of War Ragnarok doing poorly in the sales category whatsoever, right?
No, that's going to be huge.
It's going to be massive,
huge.
You know.
Yep.
But going across the board with that for your games, even as far as to go back with like remakes at $70, director's cuts at $70, you know, things like that is kind of cash grabby, you know, and can be kind of annoying. And you know, there was a lot of apologists and a lot of people championing that kind of stuff, saying how it makes PlayStation better than the competition because competition isn't worth it, but PlayStation is. All this kind of stuff. It's getting ridiculous to the point where this is the one that's been like kind of like the last straw for a lot of people when it comes to that stuff. Now, the thing is, you got to look at it. Am I going to say God of War Ragnarok isn't worth $70? You know, I don't know. Probably that if I was to make a case for any game, I would say probably that one would make a lot of sense, especially if there's no monetization in it, right?
Yep.
Because it's launching only on console, only on the PlayStation, right? So it's a closed off ecosystem. It took years for them to make it, right? It's a single player game without microtransactions and all this kind of stuff, as far as we know right now, anyway.
Yep.
And all that kind of stuff. So there's a limited amount of ways for them to make money back on selling that game, right? As opposed to like NBA 2K or EA, like EA's games, or like Call of Duty and all those things, or reselling the same game for the third time, you know, as well. Those are all, you know, asking for a lot of money. Then we're also going to sell you all this shit after the fact, right? It just, I don't know. Selling the same game for the third time in third generation in a row just kind of comes off sleazy when you keep asking for more each time. I don't know. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Joe Dubs, 35. He says all publishers need and developers need to stop doing remakes and remastered and stop charging full price. How about we make new IPs? Again, I'm in the camp. I love new IPs as much as the next. I do think that some games are worth it to bring forward and to redo. The Mass Effect trilogy is the perfect example of that.
You were all for this Last of Us remaster, right? When
yes,
you were like, yeah, I'm excited about it.
And I said that because it's one of my goats, right? And I think that it should be brought forward. Again, did I know they were going to charge $70 at the time? No. Did I know that they were going to go ahead and call this a remake when it's more of a remaster? No. It had this price point come out and they said $30. I would have said, cool. I would be for that, right? That's not a problem. If a company wants to do it, they can do it. Now, to be fair, Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica are both rumored to have new IPs in the works. So they're not just sticking to the franchises that are well known. They are trying to break out and do different things. So some of this does finance those new projects because Sony does not have the war chest that a Microsoft does. And they're trying to do a lot of different things like you just brought up, Mav, which we're both in the same boat. If Jim Ryan had his way, I think that they would be more Xbox now than they are currently. I think that Jim would bring them closer to Game Pass than what they currently have right now as the offering. So I think they're trying to transition that way, but it's going to take time. But again, I think certain games deserve it. I don't have a problem with remakes and remasters. What I do have a problem with is ones that either A, are overcharged for, like we're seeing here, in my opinion, or lazy cash grabs like we saw at a Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto remasters, which weren't remasters.
No.
Okay.
That was the worst example of anything.
Right. It's garbage. Okay. I can't stand that. But if you do it right, like the Mass Effect trilogy, like Resident Evil
trilogy just looks better and better with how much value you got for it. Right.
So much value out of that trilogy. So much. Or Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Now, some people don't necessarily like what they did with Resident Evil 3, but whatever. You can't say that those games weren't built from the ground up and remade. Those games absolutely were. And Resident Evil 2 is one of the main reasons why Capcom is back to where it is again, because that started their turnaround, Mav, because that thing sold so well. But again, did they charge full price? No, they didn't charge full price.
Even for that, right?
Even for that, they didn't charge full price. So again, I think there's value to remakes and remasters in certain cases. I really do. But I'm all, again, just like you said, Joe Dub, I'm all for new IP, of course, absolutely 100%. But I think there is a place for certain games to have this if you are going to do it right. If you were just doing it simply as a cash grab, then no, I don't agree with it. And I think in this case, go ahead.
Yeah, just to your point, also, like when you talk about usually these remasters, especially only like one or like generations separated, because this is the second time it's being remastered now, right?
Correct.
It's usually like a fan service type thing, right?
Yes.
And they, we've all been kind of, what is a remake and what is a remaster? Well, they have really blurred the lines with this one, right? More because that's been like a topic of conversation where we've tried to explain to people a lot of times because there's a lot of confusion when like Splinter Cell, when it was announced for the remake or reboot or whatever, a lot of people are thinking it's a remaster and they're like, no, it's gonna be built. It's a brand new game, right? It's not the same game. It's gonna be a brand new game, kind of like the Resident Evil stuff, whatever. This, I can't argue that this is a brand new game. So therefore, if it's not a brand new game, to me, it's a remaster. But they're calling it a remake because I feel like they have to justify the price.
And I think a lot of work was done graphically, right? So I think it's a hybrid. At best case, it's a hybrid of a remaster and a remake, right? It's a hybrid because it's not, they built certain things from the ground up. I think they probably did the CGI and that kind of stuff. They probably did go back, tear it all down, rebuild it again, some of the character models. Yeah. But the rest of it, no, it's a remaster. It's a hybrid because you're just bringing over the same mechanics from the first game. So yeah, no, I think you're spot on there, Matt. But this is blurring the lines, and they did say that
actually,
And like I said, some of the initial comments, some of the initial quotes from some of the devs insinuated that there was more done here than I think that there was at the end of the day. Like
new story elements, like a change in the story, even is what I thought.
That better not. In that, let me tell you, that'll be the final piece. If they have not talked about this, but if they change that ending, Mav, to fit number 2, I'm going to be extremely upset.
Well, a lot of times, like when they release a remaster or a remake or whatever, they'll do like a new chapter or something, right?
Correct.
Or maybe even after the game is over, an extra piece or whatever. Right. Like it's something new to add, like for a remake, especially. And this is just what we know about is like just start to finish the same experience, but it's going to be. It's going to look better and it's going to be more fluid.
Yep.
And you're going to be able to shoot the concrete.
And you're going to be able to touch the giraffe.
Yeah.
With your trigger fingers.
That's great. I can't like.
Yeah.
If they announce today that like Halo 5 remake.
Yep.
And it looked like it was the same game.
Right.
But it was like better graphics and better animations and stuff, and they charge $70 for it, you'd have a fucking shitstorm.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, if
people would fucking be livid, right?
Yes.
Like I'm just saying, like it just doesn't add up.
No.
No, I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get. I mean, I do. I get it. Again, their customers are going to buy it now. To your point before, Mav and I saw the same thing. There's still defenders out there right now defending this. There's still plenty of people saying This looks like it's worth $70 to me. I'm not going to sit here and argue what's worth $70 to you personally. Again, it's all subjective at the end of the day. But this is exactly why they're doing this, because there's enough people out there who will go back and rebuy this once again, that it makes it worth the time that they took to do what they did in it. It's a straight business decision. It's cash grab at the end of the day. It's $70, period, point blank. This isn't a love letter to The Last of Us. If this was just all about finally realizing your main vision that you had from a fidelity standpoint, from a graphic standpoint, then if that's all this was about, you would not charge those customers that have probably already previously bought your game twice at full price, a third time full price plus an extra next gen $10. That would not be happening if that's all this was. You would come out and do something like you did with Uncharted, which was a fair price, $50. That was a fair price. Or like the Mass Effect trilogy, fair price to get all 3 games. Really, really well done again. That's what you would do. You have come out and said, hey, we know a lot of you have already bought this twice. We wanted to do this as a love letter to The Last of Us. So we're going to charge you $30 for this time around for the work that we did do. And you would move on and you would still make money off of it. But $70, nah, you're just going for that little bit extra, in my opinion, because you do know a big percentage of your customer base, not all of them, not 50%, but enough of them will pay that $70 that you think it is worth it to do this as a business decision, not just a passion decision. So that's where I think it crosses the line.
We have the results from the first poll. Is The Last of Us remake worth $70? 28 votes on this, and I think this is the first where we've had that many votes actually in a live chat poll and come out 100% on the answer. 100% say that it is not worth $70. Interesting. Now also we're running another poll here where I'm asking, is it a remake or a remaster?
Yep.
Well, I want y'all's opinion. All right, so I guess I should say, what is it more of a remake or a remaster? Because like I don't know, maybe it's some kind of weird hybrid thing.
Yep. That's where I'm at with it. So, all right, Mav, we are already, man, we've had some good conversations going here, brother. Holy shit.
2 hours and 20 minutes in, 2 topics.
Like this, man, like this. What else do you want to talk about, Mav? I've gone with the last 2.
Yeah, let's see. We had in our DMs earlier, we had discussed Platinum Games.
Platinum Games. Yeah. Ooh, interesting stuff from Platinum Games too. This week. Hey, look, Platinum Games is very divisive, especially on the Xbox side of the community. There's
burned feelings a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. And again, I'm not going to tell anybody that their feelings are wrong in any way, shape, or form, because it is your own personal feelings. And if you feel that Platinum Games did Xbox wrong and your main brand is Xbox, and you feel like, hey, I don't want to see Xbox work with them ever again, well, I'm not going to argue with you. Again, that's a personal take, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I look at things a little bit more neutral than that, so I probably have a different opinion than you. But Platinum Games was definitely back in the news. First, it started with a rumor this week that Platinum had approached Microsoft for their next project to publish and obviously help fund, right? And that started this whole thing. And then it came out, Mav, that Platinum Games had hired away a Nintendo executive to join their crew, right? Platinum Games is the ultimate definition or the ultimate example of a power hitter in baseball, right? This is the ultimate studio. Either you get a home run or you're striking out. Like, that's how Platinum Games is now seen. They have some of the best franchises. They have made some of the great action games of all time, Nier Automata, right? Bayonetta. The list goes on and on. They have made some of the best action games, but then you get the flops. Then, you get these games that are like, who's making this? This is not Platinum that's making this. So anyways, they've had an image problem for a while now. Obviously not helped out by some of their devs, who have done things in the past, said things that weren't actually great. And then you've got a situation like Scalebound happen, even though that was last generation, that carries over. And so I think right now we've heard them come out in the past and say we wouldn't mind being acquired. We've seen them beg to work with Xbox again. What do you do to change that image, man? You go out and get a respected individual from one of the most respected companies in the industry, if not the most respected in Nintendo. So they went out and hired Takao Yamane from Nintendo to be the new vice president of Platinum Games. And they talked about a brand new era coming to Platinum Games. And I'm going to read from the article a little bit here from Tech Raptor. Platinum Games, the title is Platinum Games Expansion, aiming for 1K plus employees over multiple games. They're going big here, Mav. They're going big. So Platinum Games has revealed new details regarding what's next for the studio. According to a new interview, Platinum is working on multiple unannounced projects and is looking to expand its workforce to more than 1,000 employees across those projects in order to boost its publishing. Right now, Platinum Games is gearing up for the launch of Bayonetta 3, which hits the Nintendo Switch in October. God, that should be multi-plat. So upset. Despite this, the studio still found time to chat with Japanese gaming publication Famitsu. Note that this article is in Japanese and they're using extra translation from gaming personality Nibel on Twitter. Shout out to Nibel, huge part of this community, about its future plans. After the former Nintendo managing director, Takao Yamane, joined Platinum earlier this week, speculation was rife regarding what his appointment meant for the studio. It turns out that it's all part of a major expansion for Platinum, with the CEO Takashi Inaba telling Famitsu that he wants the studio to exceed 1,000 employees in the future, about half as many as Koei Tecmo has, currently speaking. Yamane himself will head up Platinum's publishing division, which is aiming to publish games on a global scale, both physically and digitally. Studio's upcoming slate includes several unannounced projects for different publishers, with the scale ranging from smaller titles to bigger ones. Platinum is also currently working on a brand new IP separate to Project GG, which is the code name for one of the projects that we knew about, which could well be a live service game if Platinum sticks to the new direction it announced back in February of this year. Of course, the abject failure of Babylon's Fall could cause the studio to rethink things in that direction. We'll have to wait and see. What do we know about Project GT? Right now, details about Project GG are still pretty thin on the ground, but Platinum's Atsushi Inaba and Hideki Kamiya, good old Kamiya, did share. He's a great guy. Famously, I think it's Jez that famously had an interview with him years ago. Jez loved the interview, thought he had a great time with him, and then wound up finding out that Kamiya blocked him on Twitter, which he does frequently. Weirdest guy in the world. Kamiya did share some more information in the Famitsu interview. It's a game that Yamane himself finds interesting, quote unquote, according to the interview, and it'll be published in-house by Platinum, so the studio isn't looking for an external publisher. Since the game was originally teased back in 2020, Kamiya says the project has expanded significantly and that he wants to make sure the game is as good as it possibly can be. Tencent's investment into the studio apparently helps in that department, but that doesn't mean Tencent has any creative control over Platinum. Rather, Tencent tells Platinum about trends in the industry, but then takes a hands-off approach, otherwise, according to Inaba. Yeah, we'll see if that, okay. Platinum dishes out a few more juicy Project GG details in interview as well. Apparently, the game will have some kind of standout feature in a similar vein to Bayonetta's Witch Time or the Wonderful 101's Unite Morph gimmicks. Perhaps most excitingly, Kamiya confirms that Shiba Inu, who made an appearance while a building collapsed in the original trailer, will have an expanded role within the game. So that's not the last we'll see of the fluffy little critter. It's all go right now, Platinum. So hopefully we'll hear more about Project GG and some of the studio's upcoming titles in the next few months. Math, again, Scalebound caused a big stain within the Xbox community directly when it came to Platinum.
Yeah.
We talked Platinum, what was it, last year when the Scalebound started going around, people started Scalebound started popping up, people saying bring it back. Of course, I made my opinion well known that I'd love to see Scalebound come back. I think you get the best out of Platinum if you partnered with them right now. I know a lot of people hated that take. Absolutely do never do business with Platinum again. I get your feelings. I'm just on board in business for second chances. And I think Platinum, again, when you get the best out of Platinum, and again, that's not always a for sure thing, but when you get the A team out of Platinum, you're talking about some of the best games in the industry when they come out, whether you rate them from a critical standpoint or whether you look at customers and how happy they are, gamers, and what they get out of their games, some of the best in the business. When you get the worst, it's bad. It's bad, brother. It's bad. Yeah. Where are you with this, man? This is something, again, I like to see Platinum's an established studio. They have a history in this industry. This is a team that's been around, obviously has a lot of talent, has a ton of talent, but just doesn't always put it together all the time. But now they're trying to expand. They bring in a VP from Nintendo to be VP over at their place. It seems like they're trying to clean up their act a little bit here. They got to hire some talent if they want to get to 1,000 people. What's your impressions of this, man? Where are they going here with Platinum? And do you want Xbox to possibly maybe get back into business with them?
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to clean up, like you said, clean up their act and like maybe, make the necessary changes to improve themselves, which is good, because Xbox isn't the only people they've burned in the past either. I mean, it's like you've had some games like complete garbage, and you've had some games that are like, wow, these are like masterpieces. And there's one thing that's not that can't be overstated is that Platinum has an amazing talent for action games, right? Hack and slash action type games, they are one of the best at, and that's still a hole that's kind of missing for me with Xbox. It's like one of those things you say, well, burn me once, it's on you. Burn me twice, it's on me. You know what I mean? But at the same point, right, there's only so many of these like top tier action game devs out there, a hack and slash type, and if there's a potential to have something come out of that and improve their place in with those type of games, maybe get some of those type of games into Game Pass and stuff more. I'm for giving a second chance personally. I think it's worth it. I think you do it cautionly, right? You go into it with certain stipulations, you kind of have your eyes on things a little bit more, you like, you don't just like give them a huge blank check and be like, all right, we'll see you this game in 5 years. You know what I mean? You got to be a little bit more focused and hands-on with it and stuff like that. And I think that they would be like, I think they would make sure of all else that they don't burn Xbox again. Right? If they get that second chance, I think they want it. Hideki Kamiya said he wants it, right? Platinum Games has come out, if more than one person from Platinum Games in interviews said they want to work with Microsoft again. They want to work on Scalebound, actually. They want to bring that back. They've actually come out and said that. They can't without Microsoft's approval. That was a dream game, supposedly, for Hideki Kamiya, right? That was like like a baby he wanted to make. Now, I don't know why he treated it the way he did, and they did what they did with it, if that's true. However, they still want that game. Now, some people are speculating, well, they want Microsoft to bail them out, right? They're just desperate to get a new game, right? And they're reaching and they're going for everything. But I think making this move now shows that, kind of like what we talked with Ubisoft, hey, bring other people in, put them into control, right? Like, it seems like they're making that tough decision right now within themselves to do that. And you got to kind of commend them for that. Now, a lot of it's in the name of growth, and they're trying to publish their own games, and they just need some of that experience as well and everything. They're trying to do a lot of that stuff, but also comes with good relationships with partners, right? And Microsoft used to be a partner of theirs, as well as lots of other publishers are out there and devs and stuff. So I think if they could get on the right track and they just one game, Microsoft's got the money, right? If this was like Microsoft could only had 5 games that they could make and they're relying on Platinum to make one of them, I'm saying no, right? But like we got like 50 games in development right now at Microsoft. There's no like worry about content coming to the Xbox ecosystem, right? So it's not going to hurt anybody to go and give them a chance now. Not like in the early Xbox One days, right? When you're relying on them, like it's one of our only exclusives coming, and then it gets canned. It's like, whoa, what just happened? You know, that was like the game we were looking forward to for so long. You know, Xbox isn't in that space anymore. There's so much less reliance. Like if they were to get screwed, would it be a huge deal? You know, would it even burn Xbox fans that bad anymore? Because there's so much other stuff to look forward to coming out. I don't think so. Like I say, so the risk is way less than what the reward could possibly be. Right? The reward for this could be a stellar action series franchise that could be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem for years and years to come. Right? Whether it be Scalebound or whether it be something else completely. I think it's worth it to dive back in, and I like the fact that Platinum is doing this in general, just because they have so much talent, especially in that genre. And I would like to see more games on more systems. They've been having a great relationship with Nintendo. Yep. You know, they recently was it them that did the which one was it? Did they do the Square Enix one, the Final Fantasy one, or did they? Yes, and that one wasn't as bad, right, as the Babylon's Fall game.
No, they did Babylon's Fall.
Oh, they did Babylon's Fall. Okay.
Yeah,
so
Team Ninja did the other one, right? Tecmo.
Okay.
I think they did the other one.
Wow.
Koei Tecmo.
So Babylon's Fall was Platinum. So that's one where they got burned.
Yeah, that's what that was in that article. Yeah, they got burned.
Geez. Yeah. So, you know, but these guys made Nier Automata. They made Astral Chain, right?
Yep.
Bayonetta. I mean,
phenomenal.
You talk about running the gamut of some really great action games. I would love for Xbox to get involved with that, you know, because guess what? The only game that I mentioned out of those that's on Xbox is Nier Automata, right? The other ones, well, you know what? I think Babylon's Fall is a timed exclusive.
Timed exclusive, yeah.
So eventually, Xbox fans will get to play that game.
I said that's the next Game Pass game.
Probably so.
From Square. Yeah.
But, you know, I feel like it'd be worth the risk. You know, it's just so much. It's not as much to lose as there used to be with Xbox. You know.
Yeah.
You take that risk.
And GoGoPolo, see exactly what again, there's a lot of people with your same opinion, right? First, GoGoPolo said they will just make another game for Sony and Nintendo while being paid, because there was a lot of rumors. That's what happened with Scalebound. There's been different sides that have now come out about that, you know, so there's a lot of different stories about that. And then he goes on, Gogo goes on to say there's a lot of other devs that could use the money. They burned the bridge when they blamed MS years ago. It's just bad business.
Yeah, it's just not as many guys that are capable of making these action games, you know. It's like, if you could get Team Ninja, go for it.
Well, they did, right? We got Team Ninja because we got that new game coming out.
Oh, you're right. They did get Team Ninja.
We got Team Ninja.
Well, never mind.
I forget the name of it. I can't think of the name of it.
Yeah, it was announced at
at the Bethesda Showcase.
What's the name of that game? I already forgot all about it.
Yeah. So they did go back to Team Ninja.
Yeah.
Here's my point, Gogo. Here's my counterpoint to yours, right? I totally understand where you're coming from. Now, there's a lot of rumors, and Jez has kind of come out, and shout out to Jez. He's very knowledgeable. He gets a lot of information being a part of Windows Central. He says that there was other things in play at the time, that it wasn't just one-sided, again, they did not come out and say anything about what happened back then because they possibly were under an NDA and could not say anything. And Phil just took all the blame. But, you know, it's been now said that they didn't know what they were doing with the engine. They hadn't had experience on it, all that kind of stuff on the Unreal Engine. So they were having problems with it, blah, blah, blah. Whatever happened, bad things happened. Scalebound got canceled. Microsoft owns all of the IP of Scalebound. They still have all of the assets. Okay. Here's my counterpoint to you, is that this was one of Kamiya's babies. Okay. This was an idea that he had that he absolutely loved. What happened, spilled milk under the bridge. If you give him a second chance, you give him a short leash. Okay. You give them a very short leash. You make them prove how badly they want to do this game. I don't believe there's any way they screw it up a second time. I really don't. Never say never, not 100%, but I don't think there's any way. In fact, I think if you let him go back to his baby, and again, like Mav just talked about, like I talked about in the beginning, you get the best out of Platinum. you got yourself a chance at an incredible franchise like a Bayonetta, like a Nier Automata. You have your chance to get that out of them. And I think that if you do give them the second chance, they come back just out of pure ego. They come back and do everything possible to make the best game that they can make out of that. And I think that that's what happens if you do give them a second chance. That's my only counter argument. Again, I understand completely. Is there still a chance you get burned again? Absolutely there is. But I think you give them a short leash, make them prove it. I think Platinum Games could give you the original game that you thought. Now, not everybody wanted that game. There's plenty of people who said the kids with the headphones riding dragons wasn't for them. I get that. To me, that's cool. I like the weird, wacky, wild stuff that comes out of the East. So I thought the kids with the beats riding dragons was pretty fantastic. I thought I couldn't wait to play that game. And now I wasn't on the Xbox ecosystem at that time. I was on PlayStation ecosystem at that time. But that was one of the games when I saw Xbox promote that game and it was coming from Platinum. I was like, oh, look at Xbox making some moves over here. I like this. This is 360 type game coming out, just out of the blue, crazy new IP. So I was excited for it. So for me, I think you get the best out of the best if you give them another go. I think they come back with everything to prove to Microsoft and Xbox, whether it's because of the money factor or whether it's just because of the ego, because of the honor that was lost when they didn't make that game right and they failed by Microsoft. I think there's a real shot. You do get the great Platinum games, not the B-side Platinum games. I think you get the top hits Platinum games from that deal. That's why I would give them another chance. But overall, whether Microsoft gets into, a deal with them again or not, doesn't matter. I'm happy that Platinum Games is taking a new direction. I'm happy that they brought on somebody from Nintendo to kind of maybe figure out what has been going wrong there, that you get a really great game and then you get a Bayonetta, but then you get a Babylon's Fall, right? If they can figure that out and they can increase the size of their studio to 1,000, do more projects, start self-publishing, I like to see that. I think Platinum Games could be one of those, again, they've already proven themselves, but I think they can become more consistent and put out more great games, and it'll go multi-plat more often versus what we've got right now where they have to cut deals to be exclusive with like Nintendo for Bayonetta 3, or a timed exclusivity like they had under Square Enix with PlayStation for Babylon's Fall. That didn't turn out great. But what I'm saying is we'll see those games come to more systems, including Xbox, more frequently, no matter what. And that's what I want to see. So I'm happy for Platinum, and I think it's a great move. So again, I'm not a Platinum hater. I'm not going to tell you not to be if you just despise them for what happened with Scalebound and just the whole deal. I understand completely, but for me, this is exciting, and I was really happy to see this come out of Platinum.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely. Go. Babylon's Fall was absolutely horrible according to most people. So
yeah, I haven't tried it. I can't speak on it, but
no. But I saw the reviews. I can't wait to. I think it's going to drop into Game Pass at some point. I think Square will cut a cheap deal with Xbox to bring it over to Game Pass and see if they can revive it. But definitely wasn't one of their good ones. So,
maybe it'll go into PS Plus Extra.
Maybe it'll go into PS Plus Extra. Maybe. I think it's got a better shot over somewhere where nobody's heard about it, like on Xbox side, because we haven't had it yet.
That, and there's a lot more subscribers on Game Pass. A lot more subscribers.
Yeah, exactly. And we're willing to try things, even things that have maybe gotten bad reviews. So, Mav. So, damn, man, 2 hours.
There's only one last thing, really to touch on is Discord on Xbox.
Yeah, Discord on Xbox. Yeah, let's talk about that. I totally forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Discord on Xbox, Mav. So anybody living underneath a rock, listen, this is interesting from a lot of different perspectives. Again, is it the biggest deal in the world? No. Is it a quality of life feature that millions of Xbox users have been asking for? Absolutely. For those of you that forgot, last year, 2021, I don't remember was it the beginning of the year, Mav? Was it springtime? Xbox was rumored to be in talks to actually buy Discord.
Yeah.
Now it
was like late last year, early this year. I don't remember exactly when, but
I think it was last year. It was last year. So it was
like invested a lot of money or something.
That's what's crazy. So the deal. So again, whether you care or not, the deal kind of turned out to be a fake deal. I think it was Discord trying to garner value in their company because they decided not to do the deal. And what happened after that, then all of a sudden Sony announces a partnership with Discord. It wasn't very long after the deal fell through with Microsoft completely. Sony announces this big partnership that they're going to integrate Discord into PlayStation, which is awesome because PlayStation needs help. Like their voice chat, not good. Okay. Not good at all. So people were happy. There were people dancing on Microsoft's grave saying, ha, ha, ha. You thought you were going to buy them. Now they're partnered with PlayStation. PlayStation gets to Discord first, but all this stuff. Microsoft and Xbox went completely silent about Discord. People were clamoring for it still, saying, look, you guys got to make this deal. We could use Discord. That's going to open up, you got up to 100 people that you can do in your chats. It just makes it so much easier for a lot of people who use Discord for everything. And Microsoft and Xbox went completely silent. Deal fell through. Sony comes out, announces their partnership, and nothing, Mav. But here it is, Mav. Here it is. Here we are this week. And out of the blue, Microsoft and Xbox have been working behind the scenes to get something done. And guess what's going to wind up happening? Not only do they announce that Discord is coming to Xbox, but oh, by the way, it's already in the insider program. Now, there's some things you have to do. It's not an native app. It's not as easy as some would like. But they come out of the gates. PlayStation still does not have any Discord integration. And Xbox is getting it first, even after all of that, Mav. So kind of a huge deal. I can't imagine our Friday night game nights back in the day after Xbox Ultimate if we would have had Discord available with up to 100 people in our chat. It would have been absolutely insane. Those nights when people were waiting to come in our chat because we were full, it would have been fantastic. I mean, it would have been insanity. I can barely stand 5 people in a chat at one time talking. I can't imagine what it'd be like with 100 people being able to jump in, but it's going to be cool for a lot of different reasons. Very convenient for a lot of people. What were your thoughts when you heard this, Matt? Pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big news before when like Sony did a partnership with them, I think Microsoft must have already had some kind of partnership with them before because they've had the Discord Nitro perks with Game Pass for a long time and stuff. So
they have.
I don't know how much more substantial Sony's partnership ever was than Microsoft's to begin with. Microsoft even going as far as to potentially even buy them out, which ended up not happening, right, as you said. But it's crazy, that this is finally happening. Like, regardless of, where it's happening first, like it's awesome to get. Now, how to say the process right now seems a little bit not the best experience to get it to work, but this is like early stages here. Finally, at multi-platform cross chat application going into Xbox. I would assume it's going to be going to PlayStation at some point, and hopefully Nintendo. I don't know, we'll see. But it's great, with cross-play and everything happening more and more, with cross progression, going like a lot of times I'll sit here on a game bar and Xbox game bar and chat, everybody on Xbox. This is where I stream and stuff too. Right. So like having Discord more integrated with Xbox, I think is only going to grow. This is going to be a starting point. And I think we'll see some more integration, hopefully in the long term. I would like to even see straight console to Discord streaming from Xbox down the line. I would like to see, video chat app abilities and all these different kinds of things. I would like to see you be able to engage in the conversation and like the chat rooms and stuff like that as well, with the text only chat rooms and stuff, the different servers all across the board. It'd be cool to browse the servers, join the channels directly from the Xbox and all that kind of stuff. And maybe this is like the starting step to be fully integrated, but it's a good starting point, right? And I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try it out. We're going to see how it works. The key is getting everybody on board to integrate that. Because if they don't simplify it, it's not going to take off like it could, right?
Right.
But it's good to have another option. Like I know a lot of content creators and streamers and stuff, and people in the PC gaming community only use Discord, right, for chat, right? we use Discord. We were used Discord for our podcast for a while, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of content creators that use Discord for their podcast, and we used to use it a lot more than we do now. We have an active Discord, a semi-active Discord community. It's not the most hopping place or whatever, but like there's a lot of awesome people in there that give feedback and stuff, and it's cool to be able to be more active in there, potentially cross that over with Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of joining of the communities, if you will. That's kind of what I envisioned for it. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. I want to see how well it works. I'm hoping there's not any weird like echo issues or dropping it in and out and that kind of stuff. I think there's probably going to be bugs to begin with, because Discord in itself has been known to be buggy at times, even with the chats and everything you have going on there. So, but yeah, it's a good first step. I want to see it on PlayStation. I want to see it on Nintendo.
Yeah, for sure.
Then the circle will be complete.
Right. And then you can have, like you said, then just the chat will be easy amongst anybody using wherever they're at, right? That's the main goal here. So I think that this is a great step in the right direction, man. And I was happy to see it this week. So, and a lot of people were, I mean, people went nuts as soon as it was announced. So great move by Xbox. And like you said, I think this partnership had been brewing for a long time. If you go back, I think it was 3 years ago that they announced that they had a deal with Discord. And like you said, there's been things, like Discord Nitro and shit showing up in, some of the perks, but everybody was kind of wondering. And then obviously the acquisition started and everybody was like, well, what are they going to do here?
Yeah.
And then the Sony announcement came out and everybody was like, well, why don't we have this yet over on Xbox then? And then all of a sudden this pops up. So long awaited functionality coming to Xbox through Discord. Really a great move. Like you said, though, Matt, they do have to work on simplifying the process because that is going to deter a lot of people. Believe it or not, a lot of people just don't want to mess with anything on their console. So the easier it is to have it activated, to allow people to use it, the better it's going to be as far as number of people using it overall. And I think that would probably be the goal. Xbox always wants that anyway. So hopefully we can get that worked out. So fantastic to see. Did you get Alvin's super chat, by the way?
Not yet. I was going to get to that right now. Shout out to Alvin. It's $5 super chat. Says a big Japanese devs that makes third-person action adventure games is wanting to work with Xbox, and people are opposed to this. Crazy.
Yeah. Again, feelings do that.
Yeah.
So again, I'm all aboard. So I'm not opposed to it at all. So I'd love to see it and see what comes out of it. Even if it's not scalable, even if it's a brand new IP, I'd love to see them get a second
Platinum
chance.
Games just needs a big banner on their windows that says under new management. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody be willing to give them a second chance.
I think that's what a lot of this was. I think this VP move is going to change some perspectives because he's going to bring a completely different kind of outlook to what they've been doing.
Can be a little bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah, he is.
So this is going to be like that counterbalance to that. You know what I mean?
And they got big plans. They want to move in a lot of different directions. So they need that stability, a calming effect on the entire corp over there. And I think that's what this guy's going to bring.
I wonder if the new vice president will be prone to making Game Pass deals.
Yeah, right.
That's
or is he a mole for Nintendo at the end of the day? Yeah. Nintendo makes one of their rare acquisitions of Platinum
and go
games.
After Platinum. I mean, they have such a good relationship with them and make some great games with them. I mean, Bayonetta and now the Astral Chain is a great franchise for
That's
them.
what I'm saying. So, like, it could be the rare move for Nintendo, right? So that's the first thing I thought of when I saw it too. So
Nintendo bought a film production company or some shit like that. Nintendo, so it's
they're making they make those quiet moves, but they're eventually going to have to see the future here too and try to make a little bit of move, try to get some more talent in there. But shout out to Fifth Horseman, who did provide us with the name Wolong, which is the name that we were trying to the game that Koei Tecmo is making, Team Ninja is making with Xbox.
That is a hard name for me to remember for some reason.
Yeah, dude. Wolong. I know. I don't know why either. I don't know why it slipped my head because I'm super excited for it. Like, I love Team Ninja and I can't wait to see what they bring to the table. And it looks amazing just from the CGI. So can't wait to see that. And shout out to Splendiferous showing up in the chat, and Boogeyman, Boogie, showing up in here. Always great to see both of you jumping in here, brothers. Appreciate you both. You all have been amazing in chat tonight. The chat was flying. We had a lot of discussion in there. Appreciate every single one of you. But Mav, I think that's about it. Do you think so? I think we've covered everything, right?
Man. Like 3 hours almost.
Yeah.
So we're good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go. Let's get everybody out of here so you can enjoy the rest of the Thursday evening into the last day of the week, Friday. But this was a great show. Again, love you all. Thank you all for showing up here. Mav, brother, it's always great to catch up with you on Thursday nights. We do not game together as much as we used to, so I don't get to chat with you outside of the DMs. That's fine. You can blame me. It is a lot of me. My schedule is totally effed right now. I don't play as much as I once was, but it's great to catch up with you on Thursday nights. Absolutely. And it's always just such an easy conversation with you, brother. And again, tonight just flew by. So tell everybody we got one more super chat from Spooky, the breathtaking gamer. That's right. An Australian $7.99. Amazing show as always, brothers. Always entertaining. Always one of the best to engage with in the chat. We love you and appreciate you both. Brother, you know what it is, man. Just nothing but love and respect, man. Just glad you are in our chats. Glad you are doing your podcasting thing again. Glad for you and your family, brother. You are here, and appreciate you stopping in, man, and appreciate the super chat. Thank you. But Mav, tell everybody what you got coming up. Besides power washing, please tell me it's going to be more than just power washing for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and into next week. What are you going to do?
Man, I streaming more games, playing more Hot Wheels, playing more as Dusk Falls. Yes, power washing will be part of all of it. Don't know exactly what I got besides the regular shows for content, but I'm always trying to think of things. Had tried to do some random different stuff. I had this great interview last week with this anonymous guy that wanted to do some stuff, and
I didn't know what to expect when I saw it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you did this, but it's amazing. It was hilarious.
You like that, Pong? He was a great guest. Great guest. I'm gonna have him back probably at some point when it's relevant. When there's something relevant, probably see if he can't come back. And other than that, we got Xbox Ultimate Podcast tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Playing games this weekend for sure. Game streams and all that kind of stuff. Don't know exactly what I play. I usually don't decide because I play what I feel like playing, and that's what I stream. Right. So then coming up. Next week, Monday, FSP at 10 p.m. Eastern on Monday night. And more content coming your way, everybody. Follow on Twitter at Fun Speculation. Hit the notification bell if you want to find out whenever I'm going live for all of the streams and podcasts and shows and stuff. And also on YouTube, hit that notification bell. Like, share, subscribe. And also, hey, I've been doing better at getting the audio shows up for even PM and the PM. So PM and the PM. And Xbox Ultimate, I'm putting up an audio every week, and check those out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. Leave reviews on Spotify and iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it now. It greatly helps the people find us. So I don't ask for that enough, but like if you like the show, you like the content, that's one way that you can help. As well as sharing this out to everybody. Some people say, hey, why do you keep sharing these people's stuff out all the time? We love when people share our stuff out. So, don't ever feel like, you can't share stuff out. We love that. It helps everybody get more discoverability and stuff and bring people to the channel. So appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys rock. Pong Soul, where is everybody going to catch you this week, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, shout out to Drunken Donut stopping on in here. Good to see you and back from the dead. Back, even though you're just catching the outros, man. We appreciate you, brother. Thanks for dropping in here. Yeah, Mav. So listen, this was a fun show. A lot of good topics. We had a lot of conversation, which is just awesome, man. I love going back and forth with you on this. Like I said, outside of the DMs, it's just great to do that. And so this was amazing episode, even though the topics, again, it's one of those weeks, but we find a way to talk about this stuff. And I think we bring an interesting perspective. So shout out to you, man, for everything you do behind the scenes, and Kaitlin as well for always making the beautiful thumbnails and everything else that she does, sharing it out since both of you and I are usually working.
Yeah.
No, appreciate both of you and love you guys. And you know that. And chat, again, amazing. Nothing but respect from the heart. Love all of you. Again, keep Lupa in your thoughts, prayers, and energy as she recovers from what she's going through. Again, if you weren't here for the beginning of the show, Mav tweeted out an update. John, her husband, got in contact with Mav today and said she has woken up, which is a big step after her 18-hour surgery. So moving in the right direction. So please continue to do that. And thank you all for doing that all these weeks that we've been asking you to. Appreciate every single one of you. Listen, you can find me, obviously, Pong Soul on Xbox, Pong Soul on Twitter. I am approaching 3,000 followers on Twitter, which is absolutely insane to me. Ridiculous, especially since I'm not as active as I once was. I appreciate all of you. So if you're not already following me, I do tweet out stuff. I do a lot of retweeting of news, of people's podcasts, still when I can. So follow me, I'll follow you back. I'm always around somewhere, or if I'm not, I will be eventually. So please do that. Otherwise, tomorrow night, I will be back on Xbox Ultimate. I had a rare miss last week due to a work function. I was at a baseball game last Friday night before I went out to the air show. It was a crazy weekend, but I will be back tomorrow night. Not sure if I'm going to be at the start of the show. We'll find that out, but I will be there at some point. So join us, like fun. All over on Fun Speculations channel, right back here again. As Matt said, it's going to be a great time. It always is, no matter who's there. Man, we just laugh. We just go left, up, down, left, right.
Mike
no matter
Mullis
what
is going to be here tomorrow.
We got brother Mike coming.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Damn! I'm definitely going to have to try to make the start of the show. We won't let him answer a whole lot of questions. That's what we'll do. Okay. We'll keep him out. Shout out to brother Mike. No, that's going to be an awesome show. Awesome. I haven't been on with brother Mike in a long time, so that's going to be amazing.
Reach out.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Saturday morning, again, rare miss last week, but Steele and I are back. I'll be putting out a video tomorrow, so we will be there Saturday morning. Please. Hope you didn't forget about us after we had to take a week off last week, because again, I was out at the air show getting my face fried. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm face off right now from obviously the great Nicolas Cage and John Travolta film. That's what it feels like, but we will be back Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, living SplitScreen, all one word. Be there. Even if you're half asleep, we will bring the energy for you. Steele and I are going to have a great time. He and I have not had a chance to talk or game either over the past couple of weeks, so we're going to have a lot of catch up to do. It's going to be fun. We always get to chat involved. Be there, please. Tell a friend, bring a friend. We're on mission 1K. We need a lot of help right now, but we are moving forward. We love the community we're building over. So living SplitScreen every Saturday morning, including this one. We will be there. And then of course, next week, Tuesday, Xbox Factor podcast. It's end of the month, so I don't think I'm going to be there again. It's just really hard for me right now on Tuesdays, but you know, Mr. Boomstick, he's got the full panel all the time. It's going to be a lot of great conversations. That's where it's at. Double Barrel Gaming every Tuesday, all good things green, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. And then, of course, I will be back here. Oh, wait, I forgot the Shop Podcast on Saturday night. How the hell did I forget the Shop Podcast?
For the first time ever.
Wow, I did. I'm fried. See, this is what it's done to my brain. The Shop Podcast Saturday night. I was thinking to myself, what of them is Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. We got Kay Asante coming through again. He's becoming a regular over on the Shop Podcast. Always a fantastic time when he's around. So join the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Be there. It's going to be a blast, and we end your Saturday night right. And then, like I said, Tuesday, Xbox Factor. I may not be there, but it doesn't matter. It's a great show. You got to show up for Boom. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Thursday, I'll be back here for PM in the PM. Listen, it's the golden age of gaming, people. My God, I was looking at the games coming out for the rest of the year, Mav. Even without Microsoft having first-party titles, it is so ridiculous how many games I have on my wish list right now. It is utterly ridiculous. And I'm just talking single-player games that I went through. My God, I may make a tweet tomorrow morning about this. Ridiculous. It is the golden age. There's so much to enjoy. Get out there, do that. Play what you love what you play. I'm going to talk to you all real soon, starting tomorrow night. Mav, get us out of here.
Bye, everybody. Thank you again. Have a good one.